Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome back to episode 31 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. Podcast by crew, for crew, about crew, mocked by crew, listened to by like at least four of you. So that's pretty awesome. Uh, I'm Big Joey. I might sound pretty amazing today because I got this nice little windjammer thing. Windscreen? Windjammer? What's a windjammer? Is a windjammer a real thing?
It's in Windjammer. Oh man, my buddy's name is Fig Jammer, but I don't know about Windjammer. It's all got to be like
I
it's all
definitely
like the
wasn't referring
parasailing.
to that guy.
No, I'm just thinking of like parasailing. Like there's different. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think it is.
I
I think
don't.
it is like parasailing or something.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that's Big Keith. You guys heard there, joined as
Howdy,
always by
howdy.
him. And Big Chris Mark is here with us today.
Good evening, good evening.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, definitely. Listening to last week's episode, listen to that intro I did there. I did that, um, the shout out to Big Hat.
Yeah, the
Um,
tearjerker.
yeah. I got myself. That was the funny part is I could hear myself choking up saying it. So I was listening to it while driving, and then I could hear me choking up doing it, and that made me choke up. But specifically, I also could hear my nose whistle at one point, and I hope the rest of you listening to it go back and listen to it, and you can hear the
The
in
Dave
my
Tate.
no. Oh God, yeah. And that's when I was like, "Oh fuck, we got to get a windscreen. I need to go. I need to fix that microphone." So now I have a red microphone for all the people that can't see this.
I see, and the top of your headphone has actually got like a red pad on it as well. So you are very color coordinated with the Massonomics
And
blaze
and the
orange.
and the red nightlight.
Yep, yep.
I'm all unpaid and underrated out. Yeah.
Hopefully my Wi-Fi works good. I got this little USB thing that keeps on chiming on and off. So I think I gotta go buy a new one of those because it got dongled a little too hard, I guess, and it's not keeping a connection. So that's awesome.
I hope I can get at least one of the Keith Freeze's experience.
I
Joey
hope
and I
not.
have a separate conversation.
There
We
we
just
go.
have like a whole few minutes to just rip on them.
And then I come back and I'm just like, I what? And then I don't really get it until I actually listen. If I listen, that's kind of I'm still struggling with that. Like I'll listen to some of the episodes or part of them, or I'll power through them. But I don't know. After like the first like 30 episodes, I think I kind of like stepped away from like I have to listen to every single minute every
I'm glad.
single week. It's
I'm so happy you brought that up because I was listening to Big Hannah's episode last week, and I almost never listen to episodes, but I just ran out of shit to listen to. And there was a point where you said you sent a picture of dicks on a microphone, and I'm in my car driving, and I yell, "You're a dick on a microphone." And then I immediately regretted not saying that on the podcast when you originally said it. So I don't think I can actually listen to episodes because all I'm going to do is find parts where I was like, oh, I could have said something real funny there,
yeah.
but I'm just too stupid. So yeah, I definitely, I don't know how much I'm listening to our own podcast. It's a bit like, touching yourself anyway. So I'm not too really like, I understand you got to do it for like,
Health, right? It's in like mental and physical health, I believe. You don't
you
want to go
got to
blind. Or no, if you do it too much, you go blind. That's right. Yeah, maybe.
you got to do it to like so you can like hear how you sound and make sure everything's going well. But I think we have a crew enough that they would let us know if things were faltering.
They let
But
us know everything they don't fucking like about us, sons of bitches.
no, that's only the Davids.
Yeah, a little bit everybody. What are you
Anyway,
drinking over there? What are you drinking, Big Chris? What you got, buddy?
I've got a nice polar orange vanilla seltzer. It was
Ooh,
actually recommended in the Discord by somebody. I don't remember who. And I saw a picture of it and I was like, that looks good. I picked up a nice little case I'm working through right now, and it's pretty decent.
nice. Now, were you a seltzer drinker before Massonomics World introduced you to them, or kind of a new thing for you the last year?
So I wasn't as a kid. I thought it was like a disgusting version of soda. Like, man, this is flavorless and just a pale imitation compared to the greatness that is, Pepsi and cola. And then I graduated college and became an adult, and I was like, wow, this stuff is the holy grail of drinks, and I drink it all the time now. So
Nice. Well, I'm rocking out my last liquid death, the severed lime. It is okay.
it'll do. Oh, I'm
It'll
sorry.
do,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'll do. That'll do.
That'll do. One of them, I always get it mixed up, but one of those.
I gotta hop the border soon. I think maybe next week or the week after, so I can go and do a Liquid Death run, Ghost run, Broken Skull run. I have nothing fancy. I have a Ghost creatine drink because I did not take my creatine today because let's just get bigger. Let's just do it. Let's just get bigger. What's the worst that can happen? Just get bigger, right?
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
I'm rocking out my meat t-shirt from a couple weeks ago. Figured I was wear it for the occasion. 'Cause we're gonna talk about Big Chris's meat a little bit, maybe touch on mine a little bit later, possibly.
I will
But
not
I
be
figured it
talking
was.
about Chris's meat or touching yours. Aha!
I'll just head on out then.
Beat you to it. Beat you to it.
Yeah, you did. Beating all kinds of meat over there.
Dick jokes, get it?
Yep, for the Davids. What about you, Chris? What you got on, buddy?
I am rocking the weight is a number, heavy is a feeling hoodie. And underneath, I'm actually rocking the same tee, which was gifted to me recently by a good friend. You may know him. He owns a really nice orange gym based out of Rochester. So got the
Rochester, Minnesota?
correct. Yeah, actually.
Okay, thought
Yeah.
so.
Not Rochester, New York. People get that
Gotcha.
confused all the time.
Yep. Well,
Waterton.
one of our one of our good buddies, Chad, is in Rochester, Minnesota. He texted me making a joke about he was in the wrong Rochester, so that's why I kind of made that quip there. And for the listeners at home, Big Chris is basically sitting in my basement right now. It looks like he if I had to guess, he is sitting basically right in front of my dumbbells with his little screensaver. So that's screwing me up every time I look at it. So
That's
I think
pretty
we're almost
funny.
facing each other, if anything.
Yeah, you guys are recording just next to each other.
Yeah.
we're basically back to back. Oh Jesus, that's so weird.
I don't have. I'm just wearing a wrestling shirt. They released Bray Wyatt,
Nice.
and then so that documentary came out this week, and in the documentary, I guess they showed one of the masks that he made that never got released, which my wife described as you somehow took the scary thing and made it more terrifying. So they put that mask on a shirt. So I ordered that shirt today because you're fucking right, I did.
So Bray had his own episode of was it solely on him, or was it just kind of shoehorned in on it or something?
No, they did a full on documentary on Peacock, and I can't access it up here legally. So for the first time in a while, I'm gonna bootleg something, but it's a full documentary about his life and his plans and everything he did. So I was like, yeah, fucking, I'm wearing a Bray Wyatt shirt.
There you go. It's fitting. Since it's the right blanket, it is fitting.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I ordered mediums this time around because the larges are a little large. So let's get something new. Let's get a good pump and head out in a Bray Wyatt shirt.
Well, speaking about getting good pumps in, and a place to get a good pump would probably be Massonomics Gym. So did anybody have a chance to watch the YouTube video that they put out today with their third or fourth gym tour in the last probably 8 years, whatever?
24 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I did not watch that. I napped so fucking hard today when I got home from work. I didn't have time to do anything.
Oh, I always love when it. Nope. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say I did give it a watch, all full 24 minutes. There's a part where Tanner was going through his dumbbell York collection, and one of the dumbbells was facing the other way.
Oh, got the game panic.
Oh yeah, that gave me direct. That's a Keith moment right there.
Yes.
So I went to. I was like, yeah, that's funny. But Keith, I got a question. You did watch it, right?
Absolutely.
So after seeing their full view of the gym, and you having your own gym as well, do you think they're missing anything? Is Tanner? Do you think they should add something that's not there yet?
I've been telling them for a while. They probably needs a kabuki deadlift bar just for the variety, or extra. Honestly, selfishly, I would say a couple extra Texas deadlift bars if he hasn't picked any up yet, just because, especially because Big Dave only has so many of those, I believe, that he brings for the for the warm up room at the XPC meet in July, for the Lift Hard to Live Easy. And I mean, it really doesn't matter, but it would be nice to actually deadlift in the warm-up room on a Texas deadlift bar, not a Rogue Ohio deadlift bar, not a Oki bar, not a power bar, like the same bar I'm going to go out and pull my third deadlift on. It'd be nice to use that in the warm-up room. So either a couple more Texas deadlift bars specifically to help out at Lift Hard Live Easy, or for the variety, a Kabuki deadlift bar. I don't know how many guys they have there that actually compete. And every federation uses different bars. So like for me, it makes sense to have a Kabuki deadlift bar because one of the federations, like 90 minutes from my house, uses a Kabuki deadlift bar. So that's why I bought it. But for the variety aspect alone, to be like, yeah, let's just have 3 or 4 different deadlift bars. I mean, I would add that before I would add another power bar. But that's just me. You know, I definitely, from all the feedback I've got from people that lift here, everyone tells me they feel a vast difference between the Texas deadlift bar and the Kabuki deadlift bar. Now, is that for better or worse? Is it extra cheating? But it doesn't matter. I mean, if it's a bar you're going to have to use in competition, you want to train on it. So that's my big gripe with that. So,
Did you guys ever watch The Longest Yard?
No,
I should see if you've glazed that.
I've glazed both of them. The
Yeah,
70s and the 2005-ish, probably Sandler one.
So one of the things, of course, is that they don't practice on the same field that they play on. And the argument is that made them better.
Yeah.
So just saying.
I get that aspect.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. I don't give a fuck.
No, I get that, but as someone, it's the whole, you have a gym, fill it up with. But I mean, if no one's asked him for one, then I mean, I don't know how many people are competitive power lifters there.
And Kabuki bars, like I've pulled on those at 2 of my meets, and they're great, but they ain't cheap. Like at this point, we're gonna tag Chris Duffin and be like, "Yo, hook us up. Like, send me one first."
Honestly, they have come down a little bit. It actually kind of sucks. Like my bars are worth less today than they were. I mean, the resale. I could buy my bar for like $50 cheaper than I could a year ago, just because they cut prices and then fucking now it's free shipping. So they are like 15% cheaper than they historically ever have been. I mean, they're still fucking 40% more than anything that Texas Power Bars makes, but there's less than what I paid for them a few years ago.
Did you end up getting anything from Gopher? I think that got put out there in the Discord. The axle, the $40 axle bar.
I don't. So like everyone, a lot of people keep telling me that like I'm gonna buy a new axle, but if I'm gonna drop money on an axle, it's gonna be a custom one where I can get the collars welded on like 3 inches wider on either side, solely so it accommodates my joist, my floor joist cavity, so I can overhead press and not hit my floor joist. So yes, I can do it with my homemade axle right now using spacers. That's fine. It works, but I've got a fucking $40,000 gym and I got a $10 axle right now. So my next purchase will be like a $300 or $400 custom axle, just because.
I was looking at it. I had it, and I actually phoned Steve, and I was like, "Dude, this is a $40 7-foot axle, right? Like, and shipping's $8 to Canada."
Then pull the trigger on it. Axles are fucking amazing. I love axles right now.
Well, and he goes, "Yeah, but Bells of Steel is like $80 shipping in Canadian, and you won't have to pay customs. We'll just go there and pick it up in Mississauga." So I think that was like, yeah, because then I get to pull on it before I can see it. Like I can go there and test it and everything like that. So if I'm gonna axle.
And for any of our listeners that want to come try some axles or any other barbells or any other gym equipment, so French Lick, Indiana, here in a couple weeks, home gym con. Use code UNPAID to save 10% on your tickets and come meet. I think I had a spreadsheet going today. There's at least 11 or 12 crew, including the sister host and some other personalities that might not be super active in the Discord, but are a crew that will be there. So come hang out with us. And let's see. Let's rate last week's episode, boys. You want to get into that?
Yeah, let's jump in. So I actually was with Steve when he was doing the deadlift party at Strength Co. I was there for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also the first time I ever heard of Steve.
You threw me. I was so confused for half a second because you just mentioned Steve.
Yeah. No, Steve Bake.
Steve, and I'm just like,
yeah.
And I got you now. Took me a second.
Yeah. I was there, and I told the story about Gino, like shouting me out randomly. That was at there where Steve was deadlifting at the Strength Co booth. Nice. I don't know if you guys know who Steve is.
I
I will
didn't
just
until this week.
Not before
yeah,
this.
me either. I didn't know him until the Arnold. That is a very wide man. That is the best way to describe Steve Bake. That dude is maybe what did he say he was, like 6'2" tall?
6'2", 350, I think. Some 6'2",
Yeah, so if
320,
he's six
something like
foot
that.
two tall, he's 4 feet wide. Like that dude is just a wide man, and like, yeah, I remember being blown away by his pole, and again, beltless 850 was ridiculous. So
That is crazy.
yeah,
Beltless
hearing
anything. Fuck. Ugh.
hearing some of the other goings on. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Some of the new people, I get a little bit like a twinge of what do you call that? Like pride when
Yeah,
they
for sure.
announce new Hall of Famers. I'm just like, yeah, welcome to the club.
But also
Uh,
part of it's like I also beat you, fucker. It's like welcome. So you can
yeah,
I can still be just a sea hair of a gatekeeper, but
yeah.
also be very like come on in, like after everybody else.
I
But no,
I
it's
would
fun.
say I'm not going to place a ton of value in people that get the Hall of Fame based on when they get their card. But I think if like the people that aren't there until after the Lift Hard, Live Easy, yeah, we beat you. But like if you're waiting to like check off some of those things because you haven't done them already, versus I just haven't got my card yet. I think that's I'm not that one I'm not going to be. But again, like yeah, like if you're suddenly in the Hall of Fame after you were on one of our shows, great, glad we could help you out. But I was there first,
Yeah, I'm
right?
excited for that. I think we'll be able to put some people on the map. That's we'll obviously one of our questions going forward will be Hall of Fame status, I think. So that'll be cool to actually like hear it firsthand where
Yeah,
people are at.
the list of names coming up that we have booked for the show is fucking wild. Like I said, like 2024, big things are coming. And yeah, sure enough, big things are coming. So with that, I'm gonna have to give this 5 cheap tricks. This is gonna be 5 cheap tricks worth of an episode rating.
What about you, Chris? I know you've listened to some of it. What you got?
Yeah, I've gotten through about half of the episode so far. Kind of jaw dropped when Steve said he had 75 reps at 225 on bench. So with that, I'm going to have to just give it so far 5 Massonomics iPod touches.
Good fair rating. We'll get Big Kevin on that. So yeah, it's getting hard for me to fucking remember these episodes because I've already listened to the entire full call-in episode. I've like there's so much other stuff. Like I listen to like at least 5 or 6 other podcasts a week, so there's just so much media coming into my ears every day that it's hard to keep track. But the main thing I remember taking away from that episode was what the fuck is a street dance? And I don't know what the fuck a street dance is. Even when he explained it on like, I'm not sure if they explained it well in that episode or if it was the call-in episode that they rehashed the street dance thing and what it is.
It
And
just
I'm
sounds
just
like a
like,
festival. Like
it
we,
basically is, but it's just like the way the term is. I've never heard what they're talking about called that. And then like the way they describe it of like just legitimately shutting down like Main Street for
yeah,
like that's like something you see on like a TV show, but I guess that definitely must be a small town Midwest thing because I definitely
no,
never had that growing up.
we do that here. There's different names for it based on where it is when it is. We used to do one in the party district. They would call it the Mardi Gras party, and they would just shut down 2 ends of the street, and they'd have a stage in the middle, and it was just a row of bars, right? But then we also do one that we call open streets, which is literally just no cars allowed, go and roam. And the James Street, we call it here, that's completely shut down. And what's really fun about that is when you watch that happen, you'll see people still married to the sidewalks. And like you're like just go on the road, but it's so uncomfortable for people
Yeah.
despite no cars are allowed. There's nothing, but there's not even bikes allowed. It's just how uncomfortable people are. So that's a really fun thing to watch too. But yeah, definitely have never heard of a street dance in my life. I've heard of block parties, cookouts, open
And there was
street,
and
Mardi
there'll
Gras,
be
all of
more
that.
and there'll be more follow up because I think in the most recent episode they even like, because a lot of people, everything you just recommended or everything you just mentioned are things that they said, no, that's not a fucking street dance. So that even like added more layers of confusion of what the fuck a street dance is. But I think it was just like it's a town or city organized thing where they just get a band in and the band is just on one side and it's just like a little concert. But I don't know if there's like other activities. I don't know. So for my sheer confusion still after 2 episodes talking about street dances, I mean, I gotta use my druthers and maybe knock him down a couple points. So instead of a 6.9, I guess I'll go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5. And that's my rating.
Respectable.
Big call out. Big call out from our producer.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. So this is for anybody listening, paying attention. We need somebody that can help us out with some video editing. Try and get some Instagram stuff up, maybe a couple of YouTube shorts. Just something that we can create some videos based on, of course, the Zoom, what we're doing here. But then there might even be a chance that we're going to do some skits. We'll do some, some personal stuff that we might upload. Because ultimately, this is a comedy podcast. Might talk about other stuff every once in a while, but ultimately, I would classify this as comedy. So there's going to be chances that we're going to do silly online stuff. But we just need some help because I am shit at video editing. Keith is busy. I am busy, and
Yes.
Nate is busy. So if we could have like an unpaid intern that really wants to like join the production crew, I guess we could call it. Like we have a production crew.
Yeah, we would definitely be part of the inner circle right now. It's me, Joey, and Nate, and then Big Jeff does our stickers for us, and he's really the only one that's like consistently been there to help us out. I've had a handful of people offer, but then like they with the caveat of I have no skill set, so it's like okay, cool, thank you, but it's like I just see someone just I mean I can basically go in and find the file and edit it down and then like add a logo to it and shit, but like that's 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes, and like I'm fucking like 10 hours minimum a week dealing podcast stuff already. I don't have time. I'm so overwhelmed with every aspect of my life. If we can get any help from any of you fellow fuckers out there, I don't even care if it's a David, I mean anybody. But no, I mean it would be just if you ever wanted to be on an extra level deep in Massonomics, like this is your opportunity. So hit us up, let us know if you have some skills and want to, be part of the team.
Yeah, send me a DM, send the podcast a DM, send Nate a DM, just anybody that you're thinking, hey, I've got some video editing skills. I can make these guys look funny because they ain't doing it on their own. Let me send something. So that's it. Just wanted to put that out there. And next one.
Be very careful before you reach out to us, though, that make sure that someone's had their coffee first. I don't know about you guys. That is our next segment. The whole, do you need coffee before someone can talk to you? I'm not a coffee guy. I don't drink coffee in the morning. I'll drink some tea in the morning. I'll have a white monster in the middle of the day sometimes. But what about you? Or do you have to have your coffee before people can talk to you?
No, I enjoy a nice boost of caffeine. I enjoy, a nice coffee in the morning or a monster midday or even a tea in the night. But no, I do enjoy having a conversation pre-coffee. Although I do get a little more irritable when people tend to ask dumb questions. But I don't know if that has to do with lack of caffeine. It's irritable.
Is that why I'm so hard to get you on the podcast?
I was gonna say, welcome to Unpaid and Underrated.
I'll make an exception. I've had my coffee.
So I actually have water first. I always have a glass of water before I have my coffee. And for a while I was off coffee for about a year, actually. So no, I don't think I am don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. But I do want to say my Hannah meme was really funny.
Oh yeah,
with her passed out at the zoo.
I still think she looked like a fucking zombie more than anything else in that picture. I don't know why no one else
I just really wanted to take advantage of the "Don't talk to me till I've had my coffee" memes.
Yeah, that was
because I thought that was a good one for her. And it's it's really interesting and really funny. I'm so happy Tanner kind of brought this up. These very basic coffee memes, because even Family Guy did like a "but first coffee," and Peter just rips it apart. He's like, "So if our kids are dying, like one of our kids are having a stroke, and you're gonna tell me no first coffee?" Because it is such a stupid meme, and but it kind of relates to my hatred of Minions. because a lot of these stupid coffee memes are either Garfield or Minions. So I actually despise the Minions because of Facebook coffee and wine memes, 100%. Now I understand that that's going to make you guys all send me dumb Minion shit, but I just hate. They're all just like, but first coffee, and it's like a minion all dimmed out, and boomers on Facebook are like, that's golden comedy, that's my favorite, and they're sharing it. So yeah, I appreciate that Tanner brought that up, because I think that's, and the idea that he just says it randomly throughout the day is wonderful.
Well, I think that rounds out general topics. So, Big Chris, do you have an ad read for us that you want to come in everyone's ears with?
I think I do. I put a little something here together. All right. If you are looking for easily one of the top 5 podcasts to come out of Western Northeast South Dakota, then look no further. Massonomics covers various topics of nothing, spicy water ratings, and occasional guest speakers that tend to lift heavier than your average adult, like really heavier. But most importantly, if you're looking for a group of like-minded individuals who are set on a path of strength and all-around silliness, then look no further. Head over to massonomics.com to become a part of the crew. There you'll find memes about the most niche topics, overused jokes that are somehow still funny, and most importantly, a community. So Massonomics is more than just a gym or a podcast. It's a family.
Nice. Well done. I know you were nervous about putting that together, but that was, definitely in the top 48 that we've had.
I'll take that. Thank you. I'm getting up there.
Absolutely. And it's, it's nice. I think I say it every week, or at least I think it every week, that like it's one of my favorite parts is listening to the crew, their interpretation of how they want to do the ad read. It's like, I don't care what, I always explain it as just one topic about Massonomics. It could literally be the podcast, it could be the gym, it could be the crew. What is your interpretation of Massonomics? What does Massonomics mean to you, etc.? And, just riff for, 90 seconds. And I love every week that someone does that. So keep it up, guys. All the upcoming guests, don't feel embarrassed to go ahead and start a notepad of like things you want to talk about and things you want to highlight on, because, I think it's just great when people, really dig deep on that one.
Well, I think that if we were better at podcasting, that would help us easily segue into what brought you to Massonomics. So let's get our guest on the horn and ask him that very question.
Let's do it. Big Chris, is that you, buddy? Oh, I stole his line.
Can you guys hear me all right? This is Big Chris.
Yes, sir. We got you.
All right. How's it going, gentlemen?
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to Unpaid and Underrated. So what do you, as Joey said, well, go ahead. What brought you to Massonomics? I want to hear it.
Yeah, my story isn't that I guess unique. It was probably, I'd say, a year and a half ago now. Yeah, definitely over a year ago. I love going for walks, and I love listening to podcasts or music on walks. I was just scrolling through trying to find something new to listen, because I play chess and I love listening to chess podcasts as well. And I was like, man, I'm kind of falling asleep on these walks. So I was like, I got to change it up here a little. So I was scrolling through trying to like just look for general strength training and strength sports. And lo and behold, I came across Massonomics. I was scrolling through some of the episodes, saw honestly some really, high level names I didn't know of. So started picking and choosing some episodes. And I was like, man, these guys take a different approach to, interviewing high level athletes. They've got a nice little community built up as well. And, after that, I got, pretty sucked into the podcast. And I went to the Arnold last year and visited the booth and was talking to everybody. And I was talking to, who was I talking to, Keith? Who introduced
Eddie, I
us?
believe.
Yeah, it was Big Eddie. That's who it was. Right. And, he asked me, where are you from? And I go, oh, I'm from Rochester. And he goes, he's like, oh, we know someone else from Rochester. And I was like, no, I'm from Rochester, New York, not Minnesota. And he's like, yeah, no, that's what I mean. And I was like, oh, like, all right. Like, who is he? He's like, oh, it's this guy that glazes everywhere. It's Big Keith. And I was like, all right, is he here? He's like, no, not yet. And I was like, he's like, just wait, we'll call him over here. And, after like another 10 minutes or so of chatting, Keith, you popped up. And we were just, we kind of just hit it off. You're telling me about your gym and, everything else, and invited me over, which was mistake number one. No, then we kind of just kicked it off after that, and I became part of the crew shortly thereafter, and now we're going to make our way to the Lift Hard, Live Easy #2.
That's a
We are,
great
yeah.
story. Eddie is so good at that, right? Like even if somebody came up to me today and was like, "I'm from Rochester, New York," I'd be like, "Cool story, bro." Like I would never put together that so is Keith and Chris. Like I would never do that. And Eddie's so good at that. Did I meet you last year at the Arnold?
No, we did not. We
We
might
did
have in
not cross
passing.
paths. Yeah.
Yeah, we maybe in passing, but I don't recall at least having a conversation. So my guess is
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I definitely spent most of my time at Strength Co or the Strongman booth. So
I,
I feel like yeah, I definitely did not see it. We might have, right? Like I
yeah.
at this year's Arnold, I must have met if I didn't get their name in the upcoming guests group, I probably don't remember meeting them. And then even then, just like selling the crew to people, right? Like that. Yeah. If you're listening to this and I totally sold you on the crew or talked to you and I go, I don't remember that, I'm very sorry. That was a fucking hell of a day. So
So I'm gonna pat myself on the back a little bit this week. I think was contributing factor to at least two or three, well, two that I remember that joined in the last week or so.
mhm.
One gave me a shout out specifically because I think I was like I basically gave him shit and I was like I wasn't gonna follow him back for my personal if he wasn't crew and I was just like and then I think I'm not saying that was like what like straw that broke the camel back but like when I just didn't obviously follow him back and I was just like I suggested like I think I gave him like a paragraph of why crew's fucking awesome etc and then like the next day he was joined crew and another one was Big Efren. I think I finally busted his balls enough that he joined crew too. So welcome to all our new crew listeners and friends.
Yeah,
And I think I
go ahead.
yep.
I was gonna say
Oh, and it was just
No,
that's how I sell it. I honestly sell it. It's 400 people into lifting just trying to make each other laugh every day.
yeah.
I can't imagine why you would go, that's boring. Like I can't imagine why that wouldn't be something to sell you on unless you're a bozo.
It did take me. I think Chris was at least. I'm curious of when your actual join date was, but you lifted with me for probably at least 2 months or so before you joined. If I had to guess, and I finally got you to dive in there.
Yeah, I think I just wanted you to stop saying join crew, Chris. No, I was on the
$4 to
fence
shut me
and
up.
no, I was on the
Worth
fence
it.
like no, I'll join at some point. But then you kind of just said like no, like it's a really good community, an extension of the people you already enjoy being with. And here we are.
Nice. Oh, Joey's favorite question. I know you really haven't dived much in the backlog, but have you gone and like cherry picked any from the backlog, or are you just pretty much from the day you started and just listened currently?
So definitely the day I started and listening currently, but I have gone and cherry picked episodes mainly of 'cause I'm already struggling to keep up with both podcasts. But it's mainly just, names I recognize that they're interviewing and have guests on, and I'll just pop in there. So only a small percentage of the backlog. But someday, yeah, I definitely will make it through the backlog for sure.
Uh,
Well, that is
the Discord's just ragging on Keith right now hard.
fuck him. I don't even care.
He posted a photo of all of his drinks getting ready, and Big Mofo asked if the one bottle was piss.
Oh yeah, it does. It's orange Gatorade powder. You fucking assholes. I've said it
It's
Sure it
not.
is.
times.
Every
Sure
Sunday he's got
it
a
is.
fresh
Oh
bottle of
no, it's
piss.
yeah. Chris sees it in the gym all the time. It's fucking.
Yeah, and
If it's not if
I just like Hannah with the megaphone emoji saying Keith's drinking piss. Like that was such a good. Oh boy. Uh,
Hannah's very witty. I enjoyed last week's episode. I enjoyed that she's come out of her shell on Discord. She hasn't been
yeah,
a lurker this week. She's been very. I want to continue to see that. I hopefully she she follows. She stays consistent with her her ribbing on Discord. It's been very enjoyable.
yeah. Anyway, Keith's drinking piss.
Yep.
Nah,
Last. Yep.
I'll be back in like 30 seconds. I forgot a koozie again. Like you would think I would be prepared at any point for this podcast that we do at the same time, the same day, every week, that I would be at all prepared. And no, I'm not. But also because of Massnomics, I can't drink a can without a koozie.
Well, you go grab that, and we'll ask Chris where people can find him. Where are they gonna
All right,
find you
yeah,
at, Chris?
yeah.
Instagram, etc.
Instagram's probably the easiest. I think it's chris.list.things for some occasional posts, but you'll also see me frequent the No Wine Cellar, so the Orange Gym that Keith has. So go follow him there, and you'll definitely catch me on a few stories or posts, probably bashing my head on something or getting my fourth
Uh,
concussion of the week.
oh God, you fit your head so many times in that basement. What about Discord? Discord, you got a kind of a weird name, don't you?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I
That
think
is a great.
if I type in Big Chris, it comes up, but it's some fucking complete like nonsense gibberish name that I don't even recognize half the time. So that's not helpful. That oh, this is the worst podcast content at Chris. TAKUMI 8894.
Oh
What
yeah,
the fuck is that word?
yeah. That
Takumi?
is yeah. Okay. Yeah. Takumi 8894. That's what it is. No, that's a character from one of my favorite anime shows, racing anime. It's one of the main characters. I know you're a big anime fan, Keith.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You really started diving into that
Yep, you got
area.
me to watch part of the trailer for your favorite anime, and that's about as far as I made it. I was actually intending to try to get back and watch an episode. Like I wanted to surprise you and watch a full episode and like kind of shoot the shit about it. But yeah, as we talked about earlier, I ain't got time for that shit. At least not this week.
Yeah,
Maybe,
not everyone's cup of tea.
maybe before Lift Hard Live Easy, we got to fucking travel together for like basically 18 hours over the course of 4 days. So maybe I'll be able to listen to watch a couple episodes prior to, and then tell you how much they suck on the flights there.
Wait,
I
what
think
show?
that's going to make great travel information.
Which one's the one you want me to watch?
That one was Joey. It was Attack on Titan, which is an anime. You might have heard of it.
Okay. Nope, didn't watch that one. No, my wife informed me that I have watched Death Note.
Great one.
Yes, I forgot I had watched that, but I definitely did watch that, and she was very shocked I didn't talk more about One Punch Man.
Oh, I'm all caught up in the manga there as well. It's one of my favorite.
Which one, Death Note or One Punch?
One Punch Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that show is genuinely funny. I can't think of a drier, more interesting humor than One Punch Man.
The reverse like hero trope, where
Yeah,
the normal one is getting stronger to defeat the strong villain, and another stronger villain you got to get stronger for, so on and so forth. But just starting out as the strongest and nowhere to go from there is
and
it
the
was a
and
fun
the
little tale.
like every episode is he's just too late to the fight. Right? Like
Or he'll
something
just
holds him back, like his groceries or he's playing video games, and then he gets to the fight and just utterly demolishes the bad guy in one hit, and then he's just sad because he wanted more of a fight. Like that's so funny.
or he'll just be walking through town and there's some massive monster destroying the area and he's just walking by and it hits him, but he punches it once and destroys it, not even realizing it was causing such havoc. Yeah, it's good stuff. I know it's on Keith's watch list, maybe the 400 or 500th item there. So we'll see on the
It's
glaze
I
scale
think there's like
essentially.
1,200 things on my watch list. It's probably not in the top 500. Speaking of a watch list, you kind of knocked out some stuff on your watch list. I've been giving him a hard time because Chris has kind of fallen back on being consistent with unpaid and underrated. So in the last month, I think he's been starting to catch up. So he's like texting me references from 30 episodes. Well, maybe not 30, but from at least 20 episodes ago. And I'm like, man, I don't fucking remember. That was just like, I was literally like last October. I don't know that. Like, give me a second. Let me think about it. But no, you've essentially at least listened to like 20 some episodes in the last couple of weeks. So I think you said something to the extent of you were tired of listening to Joey and I talk.
Yeah, I had about, I think it was like 4 days of work travel and had a lot of windshield time between that. So I was cranking through some of the backlog. I was going to like 1.3 and 1.5 speed. But then at the end of the week, there came a point I was like, I can't listen to Keith or Joey anymore. I've just
No,
had nonstop both of
I
them
don't
in
blame
my
you.
ear.
yeah, I absolutely understand that.
Uh, but I thoroughly enjoy both of your both of your time and words. But there comes a point after 4 days straight, it's like this is almost torture.
Yeah, no, there's
Need a
no way.
break.
Like I can't even do this once a week. I can't imagine doing it for an entire 4 days straight.
but
Yeah.
we powered through. So that was good.
Like I've mentioned many times before, I talk to Keith probably daily about just
Yeah.
everything. Like we just it's a podcast text thread, but we just talk to each other, me, him, and Nate about everything. And he still won't talk to me at the Lift Hard Live Easy.
Fuck off. That was like, and I'm not going to apologize if I do it the same way. Fuck you. I've been getting so much shit the past couple weeks. Everyone's judging how I acted a meet, my fucking attempts, how I train. None of you fuckers know anything about my life. You don't know any of my injury history. You don't know that I'm in chronic pain, that I don't blow my wad and try to miss lifts for a reason. Like, fuck everyone that's been giving me a hard time the past couple weeks.
It's
God.
because I pointed out how much of a how serious you take meets, and then everybody was just like, "Wait, he does." Right? So I guess everybody just wanted to jump on the bandwagon
I know.
of teasing you a bit. Like I heard you
It's
did a
all good.
USAPL meet, right?
Yes.
And you know, I heard those are boring as shit. So that's probably right up your alley.
So this one, like, I think I even mentioned it to Jordan. Like, these are, oh yeah, I see what you did there. That was pretty funny. But no, this, like, Chris, we can, yeah, we can talk about
I broke Chris. I want to point out there. I made him laugh. I corpsed him. He good.
You got me good there. But no, our local meet director here, they literally had a fucking DJ. Like, there was a DJ playing music for like 8 hours that day.
Was it
Between
just white
sessions.
noise? Just like
No,
while you're lifting?
I was listening to Strawberry Wine. That's all I heard.
No, there were some good songs on, and then as Keith kind of mentioned, you could choose your third deadlift song, right? And Keith had Strawberry Wine, which definitely caught the crowd by surprise, considering there was, metal music playing or like some hip hop, and then Strawberry Wine comes.
That
But
was my
you
plan.
had to pay for your third deadlift song?
Yeah, but he would like someone had to pay the DJ. The DJ wasn't there out of like he or the yes, but $10 I don't think is a drop in the bucket to get your own song played because so the guy's playing music the whole time and then he has to fucking like study the chart of when you're coming up and get the song queued up and ready, have it to go and already know who the next lifter is and have it ready to go and have all this music ready. Like who the fuck's gonna do that for free? We can't get someone to fucking edit music and edit videos, but you
I
want
think
someone to come do that
I'm just gonna become a powerlifting meet director. Because it just sounds like this is fucking easy money some days. Like,
no,
oh my God.
The DJ got all that money. The fucking meet director didn't get that. And also, I think
I got a free third squat attempt just because the guy follows me on Instagram and he was like, I'm gonna play Creed when Joey comes up and thought it was funny. Like
But one thing that we get that our meet director, we have a really cool local photographer that comes to all the meets that they put on in strongman shows and even like basically he does like all the Rochester athletic stuff. And I don't know if I'm honestly not sure how it works out if our meet director just pays him like $500 out of pocket or whatever. But this dude in the next couple weeks there'll be like 1,000 picture album with everyone's pictures on it for free. So that's like $100 value per person right there if you were to get a photographer.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That's why I didn't give a fuck about paying $10 for a deadlift song.
But do you think the DJ was paid either way, or if he was only paid per song?
Yeah, but if I would say the DJ was paid like $200 flat rate to be there all day, but then he has to do extra work to queue up these songs for specific individuals instead of just letting the song play. Like that's a lot of work. Like there's 30 people in a meet or in that session, so every like 2 seconds he's fucking having to have a song.
He literally just has a piece of paper with your name and a song.
Yeah, but he also has to be listening through a very, I don't know, this was a very loud, like, I hardly knew when the fuck I was uplifting because they were not great about who's in the hole, who's on deck, this is lifter. Like, the fact that the DJ was able to keep up, like, I don't know. To me,
again, maybe I'm just a little jaded. I've never had to pay for a third. I've never even done a third deadlift song. So
I've never had the opportunity, and I'd gladly pay. I would have paid $30 to listen to that song. For that
no, and that's awesome. I've just like the meets I've been to, I've just never had to pay for that. And it's just something Scance said once about meets in Ontario. That's just it's a money maker for some people.
Yeah, I was happy to pay it only because, I mean, if there wasn't a requirement, he was doing a great job up there. And I know he was dealing with some shit from other people coming up to him complaining, for whatever reason. So I probably would have left the $10 as like a tip anyway.
I can see that. And like people are complaining, like that's the opposite direction. Like, fuck, figure it out. Yeah. Like you gotta stop whining.
So Chris, what was your third deadlift attempt song, buddy?
So some might know this, some might not. My third deadlift attempt song was the Pokemon theme song from Indigo League. Um, was it honestly, I almost forgot I had it queued up. But then all of a sudden you hear like the riff and I want to be the very best, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not missing this deadlift attempt. We got it on video, and yeah, there were some comments about it, but I think Keith, was my deadlift followed by yours, or do we have people in between?
Mm, no, you were after me, but there might have been one or two people. I got to watch your video, or I watched your deadlift. So let's say there was maybe two people because I basically like walked off stage, essentially went back and threw my belt at my chair, and I think I even had enough time to go throw my shorts on. So I would
Okay.
say I don't know, because I was like 446 and you were 470 something. So there was probably at least two people between us.
Yeah, I
So
didn't know.
I did get to see your last lift and like watch you fucking drive the bar to the platform and almost get a red light for being an asshole.
Hey, but hands were on it, so that
I know
counted. It was
you
fine.
you you followed it down, but a different judge could have been like, he didn't really control that. That was kind of a dick move.
Yeah, it would have sucked to get three red lights or one or
That would have
two
been
for
that would
that
have
for my
been bad.
last powerlifting meet ever. That would have been
It
less
probably is.
unfortunate.
Yeah. This fucker like talked me into doing the powerlifting meet. He wanted to do a powerlifting meet. He signed up for a powerlifting meet. He started training. He never even started training for a powerlifting meet before he found strongman and fell in love with strongman, and then felt obligated to do the powerlifting meet because I had signed up for it. And I was like, "You son of a bitch!" So
I
it was
was also I almost had to pull out too. So
yeah, no, you
that's
were you did that whole meet like injured essentially. So that's why
She's pulling out.
yeah. As soon as I said it, I was like, "That's backwards."
Yeah. Hey, we
But
don't judge here.
yep.
This is a judgment-free zone.
But yeah, I did edge Chris out, but he was injured, and on a good day, he would have probably beat me by like 50 pounds if he actually put all his best lifts together. So
I
fair
still
enough.
think it would have been close. I don't know if that was, but
But
we got a good battle coming up.
Just
yeah.
all you got to do is just go train in a better gym. That's all. Not. There's not enough kabuki deadlift bars in the gym that you train in.
The cool thing is,
That's
I'm always, oh, sorry. Yep.
why you're missing all your lifts.
I'm always in a good spot because everyone says like basically train with people that are stronger than you, and I mean it's pretty regular. The people that come over here and train are stronger than me, so it's good stuff. I'm always have that thing to keep me hungry. So Chris, you obviously live in Rochester near me now. Is that where you're originally from, or where you've pretty much lived most of the time, or where all have you been?
Yeah, Rochester is yeah, where I'm born and raised. I went to school up in northern New York, Potsdam, New York, which Big Joe
Okay.
is close to the border of Canada. You might be familiar with, just probably 90 minutes from Montreal. And after that, I spent 2 years in Boston for work, and then I returned home to Rochester for another job opportunity. And I've been here ever since.
Nice. I think I do. It's like so. Obviously, I know Chris pretty well, but some of these I am going to be hearing answers for the first time because like we train together for 2 hours every Sunday, but it's like you only talk so much about like not lifting shit. So there's some like background stuff. I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. So good to know. What? So just for the listeners, what do you go to school for? What do you do for a living? Anything you want to talk about on that briefly?
Yeah, no, I went to school for computer engineering. It was a fun 4 years filled with a lot of lab work and nerding out, but still got to spend a good amount of gym time in there. There's some very strong engineers, very strong nerds, if I do say so myself, and I consider myself one. Um, but yeah, so I do something adjacent to that for work. I work in the semiconductor industry now, which requires me to do a lot of travel, especially around the Northeast here. So some weeks I'm gone. Keith, you know that.
Yep.
I don't get much training in those weeks, unfortunately. But when you're living out of a hotel, you try and do what you can. Either with bands or like whatever hotel gym they have, just to get the blood flowing or something else.
No, that makes sense. As far as your lifting history, I only know of it basically from the last year. So take the listeners through, Chris's athletic adventures.
Yeah, so it's a little spotty. I mean, I started, I think, as most young American boys in school. I started football when I was like in sixth or seventh grade, and that's kind of where I started my first, experience in the gym. we had a good strength coach, so it taught me the basics really well, fortunately. So I didn't start off doing anything too crazy like the bar directly on my neck when squatting, rounding the back too bad, things like that. But it was kind of on and off, throughout the years, for various reasons. But I never really took it, too serious in the sense of, starting like powerlifting in general, or strongman, until probably I would say almost a year ago, when I first started with Juggernaut AI to get me like a good base with powerlifting. And then from there, Keith, we were introduced and, we were talking about powerlifting. And you were like, you lifted this long and never done a powerlifting show or comp or anything like that. And I was like, yeah, is that weird? And like, well, kind
Meat.
of. Yeah, meat. Thank you. Meat or strongman comp. There you go.
The show
And now
isn't it a strongman show though, or is it a strongman comp, or is that interchangeable?
I guess since we don't really care that much, or at least I don't,
That's
maybe it
true.
could be the one.
Strongmen don't give a fuck about anything. They're like, oh, a rock it's fucking
That's
gonna
Yeah.
stab me in the heart. Like,
yeah.
it's fucking. I strongman is gives me anxiety.
That's
Actually,
why I always say that I'm power lifter by trade, strongman by heart.
I could agree with that. But yeah, I mean, we've got 3 new stone, I say natural stones at the gym, but they're doing construction next door. And our coach just picked up like 3 broken rocks and then brought them into the gym. So we now train with those. We're actually doing medleys with them Saturday.
Sometimes
Nice.
I'm driving and I just go, "Hey, look, rocks!" Right?
Yeah.
And Morgan will be like, you want to pull over and pick one of those up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking kind of do, but like we got somewhere to be." All right. Yeah, natural stones is the best. It's so interesting and so fun because it's like a barbell. There's one way to pick it up, right? Okay, you could argue there's sumo and there's conventional and but like a natural stone, like you got to figure out the angle that's not going to tear your bicep apart, right? The stone I have out in the driveway, it's 150. It's got to be 150 to 200 pounds. And the last time I carried that up and down the driveway, I was bruised all up and down my forearm, right? Because natural stone lifting is just so different. The weight is not even. It's not, you know, lightly placed out for you to lift up and somebody tells you when to put it down and you get your lights. It's like, well, no, it's just a big giant rock. How much is it weigh? I don't know. Go
Yep.
pick it up, figure it out. And that's fun to me. Same with logs.
I think that's like,
Are strongmen like with are you guys like that with logs? Like when you see like a downed tree, do you think, bet I could move that?
I think that, so the answer in short is yes.
Okay, good.
'Cause I
Because I
think
do
kind
that
of
a lot.
what you described is like the embodiment of strongman, right? I think powerlifting is very detailed when it comes to the 3 lifts, only because there's so much you can do with those, right?
Mhm.
So you have to get very detailed, and that's why the rules are so strict. Strongman, I feel like, and that's not wrong, by the way. That's, I still think that's good.
Is
But
what it is.
strongman is just like, can you lift this? Like, can you get it off the ground and pick it up, or can you put it over your head? And I think that's what kind of drove me to strongman. It's like with those stones, like you mentioned. It's like I just want to pick that up, or at least see if I can, or can
Yeah.
someone else pick it up if I can? Like that's even more impressive. I think that's what
But
really drove. And I
what?
know it throws Keith through a, yeah, you lose your mind over there, Keith.
Yeah.
He's got a
You're good.
spreadsheet for everything.
No, I'm glad you found it. I actually kind of pushed you to go. I knew you had a strongman bug, and there is a local strongman powerlifting, CrossFit, a little bit of everything gym. And you think you wanted to basically you were looking to get more involved in powerlifting in general because you had already signed up for the meet. And I said, well, reach out to my buddy, the meet director who owns the gym, see if you can volunteer or whatever, or even just go watch the meet. And the next thing you know, you're a member of the gym and you're doing strongman Saturdays and you have a coach and you're there fucking 4 days a week and you quit your commercial gym membership like within like a month from that like one statement I said, I believe. So you want to talk about that at all? And the family that you've actually found at that gym and your coach Tim and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean it was. I mean, you were kind of right. We were talking, and Chris, you never done your own powerlifting meet, and I was like, no, and I was like, all right, well, maybe I should sign up for one, and you kind of convinced me to do that. But then I was like, well, I kind of want to get an understanding of, the ins and outs of it before, actually doing it. So you had recommended, well, you can volunteer for it. I was like, I didn't even realize that was an option. So I'd reached out to our local gym here, East Ave Barbell. They were very kind. They said, yeah, absolutely. If you want to come and volunteer, we'll absolutely take your help. And then that kind of led me into meeting a lot of just the gym crew there at the local gym, meeting a lot of the power lifters and a lot of the strongman because they also just enjoy volunteering at shows like this and giving back to the community. And they invited me for a strongman Saturday, and I was like, I don't know, that seems kind of intimidating, but at the same time, I was like, a really good chance to dive into this. So I joined them on a Saturday, and then I signed up for the gym the next day. Got a coach, my coach Tim, who is also just part owner of the gym as well. And I'm very fortunate to have done that. Keith, thank you for pushing me to the edge there. Some positive peer pressure for once. Because one, it's just a great gym. I see them as an extension of the crew, all like-minded individuals, very supportive, very strong as well. That's always the gym is very, powerlifting and strongman focused, and there's a CrossFit section, but we don't really talk about that. Tim, he does like a side gig too, where he creates Atlas stones. Like he makes Atlas stones as one of the gym members, and they'll sell them, right? They do, a side gig like that, and they're getting very like accurate with, we're like a very small margin. So we're very fortunate to have like a lot of stones. I think up to now, I think it goes up to 450 pounds and all the way down to like 40 pounds to start off. I have not gotten to 450. It's either 430 or 450, one of the two. Either way, I'll never get to.
Doesn't it have a name too? Didn't they name it something witty or something?
Yeah, so I think there's one that's Tim's probably gonna list this and upset that I got it wrong, but one of the 400 pounders is named Barney.
Yep,
Because
that's
this is
the
one
one
of
I
their
heard of.
messed up stones. It's not perfectly circular. It's more oval. So it's more difficult to grasp because of that oval shape. But it's a real like feat for people to do it because one, it's harder than a normal Atlas stone, and two, it's over 400 pounds. So it's we like to cheer on people who lift Barney.
Now, I know that that gym's been very accepting of you. But what was your membership status after you broke the door with your flatulence? There's a story there. I know the listeners want to hear it from the beginning.
All right. Well, first of all, I guess it's a good chance for me to clear up some rumors, maybe some,
Mm.
false
Yeah,
stories
Chris
here.
farted a goddamn door off the fucking hinges. That's what happened.
It is not what happened.
That's
All right.
not that's not possible.
I agree. Thank
There's
you,
like 50
Joey.
people that will no, fine. It's there's so many memes. It's
So, all right. So, start from the top. It was, like any other Saturday morning where we all come together and do strongman events as a group. And we had just finished events and we decided to crack open, some cold ones after, a nice hard day. Um, I felt a little gassy. So I was like, maybe instead of, crop dusting everybody here, maybe I'll just go by the door, and open it up a little bit and, do my business. But I didn't want to go all the way outside because it was, rainy, windy, and very cold at the time. So I walk over the door. I
So
put
you're
my,
half polite. Yeah, okay.
well, enough to air it out and leave the group. It was a good
polite
excuse
adjacent.
to get
I
away.
don't want to fight all these people, but I don't want to inconvenience myself. Continue your story.
It was, but yes. So I walk over to the door and it's like one of those ones you push in. It's got like the hydraulics on the top and everything. It's a commercial grade door. I open it not even a few millimeters, and a gust of wind comes by with the force of God behind it and rips the
From his
door.
ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say the gust of wind comes from who knows where.
And and it takes the door from my hands and like nearly rips it off the hinge plates on the top. And this isn't like some bedroom door. This is a commercial grade, like bolted in door. And the issue was I wasn't facing the door, right? So my back was facing the door. So because I wanted to, excuse
You open it
myself.
with your ass then.
Shocking. Shocker.
Shocker.
So yeah, and it ripped off the top hinges. Not it was still attached, but we tried to close it and it was an inch off. So like you're just bashing metal on metal at that point. So my group was quiet. I was mortified. I was like, oh no. Um, so we kind of call up Tim, who's again my coach and part owner of the gym. We go, I explained what happened. It's like, hey, the wind took the door like off the hinge.
You kind of explained what happened.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I just told him the wind took because that's what happened.
Yeah.
And Tim wasn't that happy as you can imagine, but he's like, hey, just try and fix it. Give me 30 minutes, I'll pop over. So, cut a long story short, we're trying all different things to fix it. The one thing that gave it a temporary fix, at least closed the door because it was, it's a gym here, right? Tim just takes a sledgehammer. After we take the door off the hinges, just beats the frame like back into place enough to where you can close it. So we're all talking, and this is after a few hours now. We're all chatting afterwards. And someone in the group goes, "Yeah, Chris, you should just fart inside from now." And Tim looks at me in like a face of rage and goes, "That's why you opened the door? You failed to tell me that part." And the one guy is like, "Oh yeah, I can see why you might not want told." So now the whole gym thinks I farted and my demonic flatulence ripped the door off. That's the story.
It is a good story. I'm like kind of friends with a lot of the guys. Like I'm like, friendly with all these guys. I'm not like super tight with them or anything. So I get secondhand from them sometimes. But oh man, I love stories that are, basically bust your balls. Oh, it's good stuff. Let's see. I mean, I could make fun of you all day, but I don't want to. We'll have to circle back to that. Let's get into some other stuff for a minute, I guess, and we can circle back to a couple other funny gym stories I got hanging on to. So, got a lot of stuff from your college buddies. A lot of food related stuff. So this is one thing I didn't know about you. In 2019, you were a hot dog eating champion. In what contest? Who awarded you this achievement?
So this was so this was 2019. This would have been senior year of college. This is a little party hosted by the Clarkson University Outing Club, where I have a lot of friends in. And they were doing a cookout there and a few other items. And then for, just some show stuff, they were doing food eating. I didn't know about this at the time, but it definitely piqued my interest. And the first one they did was a milk chugging contest. So a half gallon of milk and see who can chug it the fastest. And my buddy actually, I didn't join that one, but my buddy actually won it. So that was pretty cool. But the one I had my eyes set on was every year they host a hot dog eating contest. And I was like, I really, but my buddies were like, who are hosting the challenge, are like, hey, listen, like you can do it, it's fine, but you're not going to win because we know who's an absolute beast. And I was like, first of all, disrespectful that you guys don't believe in me. So that just kind of fueled the fire. And I had just eaten like lunch, cracked open a few brewskis, and I'm like, definitely not in prime condition to chug some hot dogs right now. But I was like, let's do it anyways. So college kids being college kids, they didn't really plan this out well. So they kind of ran out of hot dogs and buns to do unlimited. So what they did was they gave us 8 hot dogs and I think 9 buns. And they're like, whoever finishes this first wins. So the contest started. It was just me and the previous contest winner just going at it. So I'm just ripping glizzies down my mouth. I'm just breaking them in half, sucking them down, not even chewing. The buns, I'm just breaking apart, getting some water in. Finally, we're like head to head still. I think he had just a few hot dogs left. I'm on my last bun. And I just, guzzle that down and I, get up and show my mouth's empty. And then after that, I got lockjaw from my mouth, like to the
Ow.
point where I literally couldn't even speak because my mouth was just, overused. And I think I did that in like under 5 minutes. So afterward, I was like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But we won, I think I won like $100. So we went to the bars afterward and I bought everyone a round or two. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
a
nice of
title
you.
I hold dearly.
Now, have you ever tried to defend that, or that was just a one and done?
Unfortunately, it was one and done. I did not come back after senior year of college to defend the title, so I
That makes
had
sense.
to hand it off to somebody else, and I hope they earned that title well.
Well, that's another thing we can add to the Live Hard, Live Easy round 3
Yeah.
is a hot dog
Oh,
eating contest. You and Steve Waffle Iron can battle
oh
it out.
God. Yeah. It's how many honey buns you can eat afterwards.
I could spice it up with some honey buns. I
All
think
right, Joe.
that'd be good.
What do you
Waffle
got
iron
for
and I.
you got anything for him, Joey? I feel like I've monopolized a chunk of this.
No, I definitely have been obviously okay with that,
Cool.
right? Because you guys have you guys live together. Like I don't.
It's my homie.
I'm just some dummy up here in Canada. I'm here along for the ride. Um, no, you go ahead. Oh yeah,
Uh,
what's your Hall of Fame status? How many points you got?
Um, well, after tonight, I'll have one more. I know that. No, I think I'm sitting relatively low. I think I'm at 5 right now.
It's still
I don't have my
awesome.
card in front of me, but I am trying to. No, I think no, Keith. We were talking about this. Either 4 or 5.
yeah. Keep talking.
But we're already in plans, obviously up there. So
Mhm.
those are what I would consider rookie numbers. But there is a line of sight to get more.
so so you've been around with us for let's say a year or so, right?
Yeah.
Um, one question we ask everybody is, what's a piece of merch that you didn't buy or didn't get a chance to buy that you see everybody else wearing and gone, yeah, I wish I had that.
One that comes to mind, uh, Big Luke. He's a part of the crew, and he goes to the same gym and has come to the wine cellar a few times. He has, I hope I'm not remembering this wrong, but he has a Christmas, I think, vest or
Yeah.
some type of,
Ugly sweater, isn't it?
yeah, ugly sweater. Yeah, like a
Mm.
Christmas ugly sweater, Massonomics ugly sweater.
I think I was
Um,
around right when I joined, and I was like, I don't know that I need an ugly sweater, but I kind of regret it now because it'd have been nice to have like a once a year ugly sweater party kind of thing.
and that's exactly why I would want that. It's not really something you wear every day, but for that reason, sweater. So if they ever do a rerun of that or something similar, I think it would be in high demand. Obviously, depending on the blank.
Part of the reason I think that we ask that question is because I know at least one of them listens to this every week. And sometimes if, maybe there's an answer that gets sent out there enough times, they might listen. They might put something back out there. So I'm going to ask that question every week and still wait for my Yeah Buddy lightweight shirt.
My second would be Yeah Buddy.
Right? Everybody, that's
there.
everybody's. I mean, like maybe like Tanner, like if you're really listening, like a crew only link for that shirt wouldn't kill us. The
Yeah, I think
lawyers can't know
it could almost just
about
be a
that.
pre-order though. I think because like I get why he doesn't. I get why they can get away with doing the the Miller Lite ones because fuck Miller Lite and all that, and like they can have it at the Arnold. Who's gonna say anything? But like fucking Ronnie's at the Arnold, and his people are the ones that
Yeah.
asked him to stop doing it. So like that's why they could not definitely do it in person. And then it's like if they do it crew only sneaky link, it's like what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit on like a shit ton of extra sizes that don't sell and stuff.
Yeah.
So I see why they might not, but that's a tricky thing. He's like you have to order in bulk to get them at a cheap enough a price to make it worth fucking your profit margin and all that. So
That's fair.
someday maybe. What about your rugby career? I didn't know that. Do you have a rugby career?
Yeah, so that was during my college years. I had joined rugby. It was a rugby club at the time. When I joined, it was more of a drinking club than anything with the rugby problem. Um, like really, it was mainly just the freshmen and the sophomores, the freshmen at the time, that kind of showed up to practice and did stuff, but we still needed enough people, so we had to pull like the seniors and the juniors, from their beds hungover, to make enough people. One of the things I'm proud of is that I only have one concussion that I know of from rugby. So that kind of stopped
Dude,
me a little bit.
I only have one concussion I remember. I think would be a really funny way to deliver that line.
Yeah, that's also
I think that's
true.
two less than you've received in the last year on Sundays down here.
I don't remember most of
Oh,
my
I was
visits
going to
at
get
the
to that.
cellar. But I kind of had to dial it back a little after that. I think it was junior year. I took myself out and was like, I'm still going to be part of rugby, like during practices and everything, but I'm just kind of going to be on the side for coaching role. And if I really need to jump in, I'll happily do so, which I did for a few sub out. And then by senior year, I kind of transitioned to more of, coaching status. And we left the rugby team in really good shape at Clarkson. It became more of an actual rugby where they were
Nice.
going to actual traveling instead of just. I'm a little proud of that, actually.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that you pulled back and started to hang up your cleats because you had to prepare for the 2019 hot dog eating championship your senior year. I mean, like you had to
Priority.
fucking, yeah, you had to, get your gut all expanded and ready to go for that.
Yeah, the real training began, some might
Yep.
say.
Uh, Interesting. You were talking about the drinking club with a rugby problem. My wife just brought me a pickle back.
Saw that.
I bought these new pickles and I thought they would be good for picklebacks, and they're not. They're so sweet.
Ooh, I love
Do you like dill pickles or do you like sweet pickles?
I like
Is
my
it,
briny. I like them good and briny. Yeah. No,
is
I
that the
like
best
these.
one?
These are delicious pickles because I bought these little baby ones because they're good for little kid hands. But the brine is a little sweet for me. I prefer my dill.
I'm with you on that. I'll eat a nice sweet pickle now and again, or even put on a sandwich, but it's dill for me.
Yeah, if I'm gonna eat a pickle, it's got to hurt my cheeks a little. But if I'm gonna put it on a sandwich, yeah, I definitely want that bread and butter or sweet pickle for sure.
So Joey, do you have pickle chips? Like pickle Lay's chips?
Yeah. We got the
Yeah.
dill pickle, and
Yeah, dill pickle.
every once in a while we get some pickles and cream ones that are fucking awkward.
I don't know that one. That sound.
That's creamy dill, I think they call it up here. So
Oh,
it'll
so
be like a ranch and dill mix or something. It's god awful.
kind of like, is it similar to our sour cream and onion, or is it different
Yeah,
though?
actually, but replace the onion with dill. We have sour cream and onion as well, but
Hmm. I
yeah,
know
no, we get
ketchup
those
chips is a big thing.
ketchup
Enjoy
chips.
ketchup.
Yeah, you guys have those there, right? You're close enough to the border that you get those.
I'm sure maybe
I don't.
somewhere,
I would
but
say
not everywhere. I don't know,
No,
Keith, you.
do you get all dressed
I've
chips?
I've never, not that I've ever seen, but I don't
No,
really I don't deep dive the chip aisle too much.
no, all dressed chips is where it's at. Ruffles all dressed chips, like story of my life. And we brought ketchup chips to the Lift Hard Live Easy last year and got Connor from the
I think I
Strength
have
Pro.
seen.
Yeah, he was absolutely hooked. He was like on Amazon in a minute ordering a case. He's like, these are the best chips ever because they're okay. I actually don't like ketchup chips. I don't like ketchup in general. So,
We'll have to do a follow up with Big Connor. I think he's a guest here in a couple months. I got him scheduled in June.
yep. Yeah, big Canadian junk food fan. We actually got
So
spicy dill up here recently.
Oh,
Yeah, do you guys have
is
Miss
it like
do you have Miss
spicy or is
Vicky's?
it hot?
Spicy.
I
It's
think
spicy dill.
I think that's a brand of.
Yeah, Miss Vicky's. I think that's a standard. Okay, yeah. So they did a spicy dill that was like only available at Costco for us. That was incredible. Like you'd get the big Costco size bag and it'd be gone in minutes because everybody just wanted those.
So do you also like vinegar, salt and vinegar chips? Are those
Nope.
big on your? Not at
They're
all,
here.
really?
They're big like in general, but I'm not a huge fan of salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, okay. I
I don't
figured
like
with the dill in there.
no vinegar's just not my jam. It's not my bag,
Either.
baby. Yeah, it's not my bag, baby.
My beg.
It's not my bag. My pillow.
I beg to differ or bag to differ. No, yeah, it would be bagged to the opposite. Yeah.
Dave, that was
God
funny.
damn it. Yeah, it was. Chris, who's Vlad?
Ooh,
Oh yeah, I knew this was gonna come up.
is that a Bizarro thing?
I don't know.
Well, all right. So, freshman year of college, actually like the start of college, introduction. I thought it'd be funny to introduce myself with a different name to everybody. So when I introduce myself, I just give a different name, Jane, John, Brad, anything. And no one really knew anyone at the time, right? Because you're all new to college. And everyone would be talking about, oh, you know James? And you're like, I don't know James, but I just met Brad and he's pretty cool. And they're like, oh, I want to meet him too. When in reality, it'd all be the same person. So by a certain point, everyone kind of realized, oh my God, this kid is just introduced himself as like 30 different names. But nobody at the time knew what my real name was, except like some of my close friends, and they were in on the gig too. So at that point, we're all, I think, in like one of the dining halls or something. Um, and everyone was like, all right, we're just going to give you a name if you're not going to tell us. So everyone's like, man, what does he kind of look like? Or like, what is he acting like? And someone just said, he looks like Vlad. And then that stuck. So they all called me Vlad for a good chunk of freshman year until they realized what my real name.
Also, it's not Vlad. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Well, you can call me Vlad.
Oh, I
I know it
might
gets
have to
confusing
going
at
forward.
time.
Vlad the Voyeur? Is that who it is? The Voyeur is another nickname from East Ave Barbell that I'm not sure if they still call him that or not, but it's not pervy. So tell them the story before they think you're a fucking creeper.
I mean, I get the story here is just he does creepy stuff. No, I'm kidding. When I first started strongman, I was kind of, I wouldn't say not necessarily shy. It was more of just the fact of like a lot's going on at once, tons of new exercises, implements, things like that. And I was like, I just kind of want to watch this one, watch this event, like watch how things do. And I would kind of sit on the sideline. Same thing I was doing with coaching. Like, I just want to see how this goes. Um, so they were like, he hasn't like officially joined the crew yet, and he hasn't really done strongman. So we're just gonna call him the voyeur, and that's how it kind of came to be.
I'm
So
just
yeah,
gonna
Vlad the voyeur.
I'm just gonna sit in this chair in the hotel room that just faces the
Yeah,
bed.
yeah.
It's a completely legitimate chair. I don't know why else it's here.
Well, that chair's there. Yeah, I mean, we trust me, Joey. We went through all the chairs. Someone was actually in a hotel, and they sent a picture of that chair, and they added me.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy that I'm not original, but like also that other people got to that conclusion.
So Chris is in a very large group chat with what was it, like 20 of your strongman buddies, I guess. And I'm not in that, but I get screenshots of it periodically between some of my friends in it or Chris specifically. There's a lot of meme makers in there, and sometimes they are at Chris's expense. And oh, do I enjoy seeing those on Sunday mornings, or when I actually get to make them myself, and then I don't see him until Sunday, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, thanks for sending that to Tim."
Yeah, we'll
So,
wake up in the group chat, and Tim goes, "So I got these from Keith," and he'll put them in the group chat. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's fun.
wake
I
up.
also just made a meme about you, and I hope Keith sends that to them.
oh yeah, I
I'm
get
sure it's gonna make its way, Joey. Don't you worry, one way or another.
Yeah, when you were telling the story of farting the door open, I was like, "Oh, this is a fucking great meme." I hope that makes
it
its way
was.
in.
Yep, I'll get it over there. I think I made two or three of those myself, and then so after the powerlifting meet that we did there a couple weeks ago, we ended up throwing some of your college buddies threw a surprise birthday party. So I've never experienced that like after a powerlifting meet, an all day fucking thing. I then had to go out and like be social for like
I remember.
4 hours,
I remember hearing
and
about this. Yeah.
it was beyond overwhelming. And when I left, Chris was extremely inebriated, and on like hour two of playing flip cup in like a 40 square foot kitchen with like 20 people, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go home now because I'm 15 years older than like the next oldest person here, and like I drank my 2 beers, I shot the shit with everyone, and then I had like 3 bottles of water. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home now. But that was a fun night. But that was your birthday. I think it was just it was like a week ago. So happy birthday for everybody. Happy birthday, Big Hannah. And
Happy
how old
birthday.
were you, buddy?
I am now 27.
Nice, just a baby.
All,
Yeah, that
birth-
was
all birthdays are Big Hannah. I don't give a fuck. Going forward in the crew, it'll be happy birthday, Big Hannah, bracket whose birthday it actually is. That's
Yeah,
really funny, Keith. That's good.
I might have to start doing that.
I'm in for
Yeah.
that. Sorry, Chris, to take that away from you there,
no,
but that
that's
was
good.
really funny. He dropped that joke. And of course, we have to explain the jokes because if we
Yeah.
don't,
Yep.
the
So
Davids
Grayson
will be
didn't know it was
confused.
Hannah's birthday, etc.
Yeah.
That one might almost not need explained at this point, but we'll still will every now and then. We'll break it out just for the newbies. But I think I was going into that too because it harkens to there was a group chat that you weren't in, where there was already memes at your expense, like planning the birthday party and jokes and whatnot. So then I think when they finally added you, you had caught up on some of them. And I think even like 2 days later, you were actually reading through like a week of shit, and you like busted my ball saying, "Did you really say this to the group?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah, they no, my friends had actually surprised me by coming into town for my birthday and obviously the powerlifting meet too. Kind of doubled up on that. So I was surprised and it was funny too because surprisingly that Friday night we went to go see Dune 2 um and also get a dinner that I couldn't join because I had to make weight. But yeah, so when they surprised me Friday night, I was like letting everybody know. I even let you know. I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, my friends are in town. Like they're gonna be at their meet." Meanwhile,
We
they had
all
all
knew.
known previous because my friends
Yeah.
had reached out to people like Keith and my gym, to plan this. So everybody knew ahead of time, like weeks in advance. Hence why that group chat was made, and I got added in after the fact. And it was like 40% planning and then 60% shitting on me and making me which
Yeah.
was they were kind of some of the memes were quality. But no, that was I was very I have a really great group of friends. Very happy to have them there, and yeah, and we celebrated as Keith mentioned, doing throwing it back to some college games, reliving some of the fun old days. But yeah, that was a good time. And the cheesecake was delicious.
Did
Keith, were you
anyone
there
eat?
for that?
Did any? Yeah, I have it on video. Well, the video cuts out like right as it's falling, and like your friend is literally like doing like a split squat to try to grab it. But I'm pretty sure it just landed right in a fucking pile of hair. Did anyone actually consume any of that floor cheesecake?
Not the floor cheesecake. That was
Okay, because then
unfortunate.
it was only like half cleaned up. So then people were like walking over cheesecake the rest of the night, and then like I think you immediately walked right through it, or like within minutes later. And I was like, oh, he's already kind of half because I had got there. I don't know, like the meet was over at like 6:30. I think I got there around 8:45 or 9 or something. I'm not sure. I think when everyone else got there, probably closer to like 7:30 or 8. But I was like, I gotta go home and eat, take a shower, at least do one quick Instagram post, and then just kind of ignore my phone for the next like 2 days. Uh, but yeah, that was. I'll try to throw it up on Instagram. That there was yeah, they were doing a happy birthday to you with the cheesecake, and then she just just right out of her hands, right on the floor. Like to her effort, she tried to get it. It was the fastest I've ever seen someone like move to try to catch a cake, but it would did not
Oh,
survive.
do you know how it dropped? Why it dropped?
Oh, did you fucking accidentally hit her or something? You dipshit! You did, didn't you?
So they were carrying it out with the candles on it, and they wanted me to blow it out.
Yeah.
And I did, and then I go to, she's like carrying it in her palms in front of me, and I go to stand up, but I accidentally hit her arm,
You
which throws the cheesecake forward. And God bless her soul, she managed to catch at least half of it before all of it hit the ground.
nice. Okay.
And everyone saw that, obviously, and you have it on video. And
Yeah,
someone,
I have the back side of that, so I couldn't really see that. I must not have been able to catch the front of that visible. But yeah, that's great.
I
I
felt
can't believe
terrible. I felt
I
so
didn't
bad.
know that you actually did that. I thought she just was klutzy. That's makes it so much better. I wish I knew that 2 weeks ago because I would have been making memes about here. You're a
No,
cheesecake
it's okay.
annihilator as well. You door farting, cheesecake annihilating, head bashing, fucking yeah, there's just so much to
GHR
you.
falling off of.
Oh yeah. So you want to tell that story because that is actually my favorite.
Or should we just save and do like a series of videos
Oh
of
yeah.
him hitting his head in your gym, falling off the GH? Like, welcome this week's guest, and it's just him fucking eating shit for like 30 seconds.
I think there's
Yeah.
another one. Did we get the video when you basically just stood up into my Swiss bar when you were giving me a bench handoff? I don't remember if that was actually on a video or not.
We got the part where I reflexively grab my back of my head and cry silently.
That was, oh yeah,
Um,
like you made me. I felt bad about that. I had to like find a new home for that bar after that because it was on. Ooh, we just lost Joey. Hopefully it still says recording. Okay, there he is. We're good.
I'm still here.
Okay, your video. Okay, you're good. It just
no,
threw me.
that one really hurt, Keith. That one, like
No,
that hurt
that
enough to
you.
where I didn't even say anything because I was just like trying to eat the pain, and I was like,
Yeah,
this
that
might be
one's
the end of it.
that one definitely seemed like it hurt more than the most recent pull up bar. Because at least the pull up bar, you kind of hit a foam pad. I would hope to some extent because that's what I kind of have it protected. Uh, but the GHR story, you want to we'll post the
Oh,
video, but
that's
I think it's worth a 90-second rehash of what you did.
the so GHR, GHD, whichever you prefer to do it by. Um, I was doing some ab workouts with my coach and another member on their team. It was somewhat empty gym, and it was at the end of the workout, so I'm pretty gassed by this. And I'm on the
Gassed, like
GHR.
going to the door to open it up, gassed
No,
or like tired gas. Okay, I just want to clarify because you are you are the voyeur that farts, whatever the fuck your name was. So we have to verify which gassed you were.
I'll clarify. I was very tired. Luckily, I
Okay,
wasn't gassy. All the doors were safe that day. Um, but we were doing
just
more of an
just not the
ab.
stall mats. They were in danger.
Yeah, my head was in danger too. So we're doing an ab workout leaning back and doing like some rows with the bar. Very strenuous. And I was on like hopefully I think one of the last sets. And again, I was very tired. So I go to like come up and my coach is like, you got 5 more seconds, dude. And I'm like, fine, I'll do it. But what I didn't realize is I had taken my feet out already. So as I'm leaning back to continue the ab movements, nothing's holding me in place. So I immediately just fall back on the ground. My head smacks on the ground, bounces, and I think I coughed at the end because everything was just in so much pain. And my coach and my friend were just like, oh my God. They laugh. And then after about 10 seconds of laughing with me writhing in pain, they come over and see if I'm okay. And the worst part is because like my leg was trying to get back on the GHD, like get in the foothold. That cramped up midway from me trying to get it. So like not only am I concussed for the 50th time, my leg is also cramping, so I could like barely get up. And then once they see me like moving around fine, they just like burst out laughing. And the reason the video exists is because my coach took the security camera footage and sent it to everyone. So that's why we are fortunate to have footage.
There's a lot of security cam footage that shows up like on Instagram and in like group chats and stuff, just because that's so great that you guys that have that. And like it's kind of cool because I've seen some people they'll like post their lifts from that because they didn't get a
Yeah.
video and it just happens to be in camera. But then shit like what you just described is that makes me so happy that they
I'd rather see the
are
lifts
technically savvy. We should get
uh,
them to help us edit our videos.
put the bat signal out. But yeah, no, some people do actually do that. Yeah, they'll I've done it a few times where we forget to record and like you hit a PR on something and the gym owners are so down to earth. Just be like, yeah, let's grab the footage and we'll hand it to you. So yeah.
You know, you're definitely not one that likes to record too much. I can count on my hand how many times you've actually like tried to use the tripod here. Like I think if most of your videos that are on my page are like videos I've taken from you or ones that you've just privately sent me. Then I'm like, oh, he hasn't posted those yet, but I guess I will.
Yeah, I think some of that has to do with again kind of like reminiscing on previous years. I never really, recorded before. Never really had a reason not to for anything, either training purposes or anything else, or a good group to keep up to date. But seeing everyone else kind of do it for various reasons, again, either form correction or recording, important moments or keeping friends up to date in the gym community, right, of lifts. That really changed my, outlook on. That's why I now have, like the Instagram, for instance, and share lifts. Like, yeah, I still am kind of, trying to focus more recorded. But I know at some point, Keith, you're always in the background recording things. So I'm like, I can oversee a lot.
Yep, yep. So you're going to be competing to lift hard, live easy. You're doing the strongman. You're in the novice, one of the big guy classes, novices, whatever the fuck it is. What do you think the carry implement that Tanner and Big Jake have cooking up for us?
So I was actually on to Big Luke about this one. Since do they call it? What do they call it exactly now? It's just a not. Is it a shield carry?
Yeah, I think if they didn't call it a shield, someone called it a shield, and I think they maybe didn't correct them. I couldn't recall. I think for some reason I think they just called it an implement, but maybe they did call it a shield. I don't
I
know.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it's mystery shield carry. That's what it is.
Okay.
Because we thought it was going to be the Husafel carry, and I think Big Jake was talking about earlier. But then they changed the name to mystery shield carry, which is obviously very different, right? But no, Big Luke and I were talking about it. We kind of think we're gonna, bounce off each other's heads there, and we think it's gonna be the Massonomics logo somehow. I
That'd be
don't
cool.
know how exactly, but I think it will be the logo. So like maybe a big M, in a circle, right, with the M popping out to give a nice handhold. So how they're gonna do it exactly, I don't know, but I know that's gonna be something pretty excited to lift it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think it is in hand at the gym, or at least I'm pretty sure Tanner has it because I think in either his personal store or the gym's or the Massonomic story, he had posted a box. And I think I even like deep dove it, and it was like a metal fabrication, like gym equipment kind of place. So I was like, you could tell. I was like, oh, that's probably what that's got to be. You would imagine. So I think I'm curious if they're gonna be able to keep it under wraps all the way up until July. I mean, everyone will likely see it Friday. Well, we get in Thursday, weigh-ins are Friday, but people will be in and out of the gym all day Friday doing like tours and shit probably. So I'm curious if they're gonna keep it under. Well, you think they would? They'd probably keep it under wraps at that point. Like if they've made it all the way till July, like they're just gonna keep it under a tarp in like Tanner's truck or something where no one can see it until like that day probably.
The
But
part of
that'd be
the portion of the competitor in me obviously wants to know what it is, but I still think it's way cooler if absolutely no one has any idea what it is, and we all just find out, an hour before competition. I think
It's a
that'd be
it's going to be a giant chicken bake.
that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
it's just like molded fucking stall mats. It's just like a shield of stall mats. It would be unpleasant as well. A lot of college stuff. I don't know how
Hey,
much you
let's
want to
do
get
Mount
into.
Rushmore
Yep, yeah, there's a couple.
while
So
you look for other stuff. I'm going to do the Mount Rushmore. We got two of them, but one of them said specifically Mount Rushmore buffet food.
Buffet food. Ooh, that's a tough one because I mean, there's so many different kind of buffets, right?
Hmm.
Part of the reason I came up is because we hit a lot of buffets, uh, even after some of the strongman event. I'm gonna go. Can I just use any kind of buffet, like American food, Chinese food, whatever it may
Yeah, you
be?
got four of them. Just your favorite
All
food that
right.
when you go to a buffet, you're guaranteed to get.
Probably gonna go to a lot. Okay. I'm gonna go sesame chicken. That's the top one.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go some type of noodle, like lo mein, chow mein, something like that. Just because I absolutely love it. Um, I'm going to go another protein. I love the that sweet and sour chicken. It's almost like chicken nuggets. And then probably my final one is going to be a dessert. It's definitely going to be some type of like pudding or pudding where I can just load up a whole plate and get diabetes for a day. So I think that's going to be my Mount Rushmore. And it's obviously very Chinese food dependent.
I dig
Uh,
it. Good stuff. I definitely like me some sesame chicken.
Also, do so ice cream. Question. Speaking of Canadian American differences, do you guys have Tiger Tail ice cream? Have we talked about this before?
I think you talked about it, and it wasn't what I thought, but maybe it was. I don't remember. It has been a segment on something, but it's fucking been a year. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. No.
Okay. It's
Is it like a
orange and black
brand?
licorice.
Okay, yeah. I remember that now because I think I asked if it was like sherbet, and you were like, no. Yeah, I would have remembered seeing or eating licorice ice cream, and that is not a thing that I've ever consumed.
It's delicious as shit. Okay. So second Mount Rushmore, because that one went kind of quick while Keith looks for other things to talk about. We were also asked to ask your Mount Rushmore of anime series.
Ooh, so big anime nerd. Um, Man, if it was a top 10 list, that'd be a lot easier.
Nope,
Just
stop
because I know so
four.
many. Yeah. So I'll go with my first one, which is going to be Attack on Titan. It's kind of more of a newer one, I would say. Not the newest, but it's been around for probably 10 years or so now. The anime itself, the manga longer. But that definitely is going to take the first Mount Rushmore spot by George Washington, just because it's a great story. So many details, a lot of twists and turns. You have no idea what's going to come next. So that's definitely the first one. I think my second one will be. I'm probably going to go with Bleach, which is one of the big three that kind of, in terms of popularity, made its way to the U.S. after Dragon Ball Z. Um, Probably a little bit of nostalgia playing with that one, but it's just magical sword fights, which the nerd in me absolutely just loves. Some really good action sequences, really good soundtrack as well, very iconic.
Hmm.
So that's
It's
been,
it's on Disney Plus. Never heard of it. That's fun.
yeah, it's been
Okay.
around for they're actually they're animating the final arc as we speak.
Okay.
So probably a few more seasons of that, and then it'll be, but they actually teased a few, I guess you would say prequels, potential for some prequels. So that'd be pretty fun. But yeah, it's one of the big three, like Naruto anime or Naruto. So that's two. Um, Probably one that's not too popular. I'm going to go with. Well, I'm on the fence because One Punch Man is fantastic, but I don't know if it's going to make my Mount Rushmore. I'm going to go with Darker Than Black. Probably not many people have heard of that one. It's like a cool little, I wouldn't say too niche, but not that well known. It's a very short one. It's only 2 seasons. Someone described it as Chinese electric Batman, and I was like, yeah, that's a very on point description. Because the main character is Chinese, and he holds, Batman like equipment, and one of his powers is electricity. So that's three. I guess for the fourth, I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna choose Berserk. That's a popular one. It's been ongoing since the late '90s. It's definitely more. It's not like a shonen type for young adults. It's definitely meant for more adults, seinen type. Basically, if you don't know this one, it's this warrior, if you will, um, just going through so much trauma in life and pain, and he wields a massive sword that shows up a lot in different forms of entertainment. And it's just you see his struggles and what he has to go through in life, and he tries to save them. He's also getting chased by demons throughout life and progression to go on. I won't say anything more than that, but I think that's just a phenomenal story. Not really a happy one necessarily, but a really good. I think it's gonna be
Is
my top four.
is that so he carries Soul Calibur, does he?
Um, Say that
Never
again?
did you ever play Soul Calibur?
No, I didn't.
That's fine. That's a big giant sword that
Yeah, I've heard of
bind
I've
that
heard of that. I've heard of that game, and I'm
yeah,
not
it,
fucking big
it
gamer
it
here.
binds with its hosts.
Oh, I guess it's similar. It definitely is one you have to wield with two hands.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
when you said that it everything you described there. Okay.
That's
yeah,
Uh
uh,
no, she didn't.
yeah.
By the way,
Honestly,
guys,
sometimes.
I know I posted this on Instagram, but I just wanted to point out I was chatting with Travis from Obsidian this week. Uh, the ampules, by the way, he sent me a private message, so I'm going to put it out there. They're actually being discontinued forever.
Oh, buddy, better get
So
on them.
if you like those cracking ampules, and because in my opinion, those are the best of all of the stuff I've ever had. They last the longest. They're the perfect amount of hit without like making your eyes fall out of your head. You got to get them now because they're not going to be restocked. They're just not making them anymore after this. So you will have to get actual bottles of salts after this. So, unfortunately, our code doesn't do anything. It just makes us look good, interestingly. So you can put the code in, you don't get a discount, but we get the
Oh, it's not
referral
a
bonus.
discount.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it. That's both by. We appreciate you guys doing that. Code on, but yeah, everything's code
It's code
unpaid.
unpaid,
So.
code I have another code, but like it just I get a referral, but
Right.
it's 0%, which is really great because it still bumps me up to the top of the referrals, right?
This
But
is
yeah, if you like those
everyone's got different
ampules,
affiliate things. It's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, if you like those ampules, get them now because they're done after he sold out of these.
Nice. We'll just go ahead and hit our affiliates real quick. So that's obviously Obsidian, Code Unpaid, Barbell Rescue. Kim's doing great things with that. You know, if you want to keep those shafts clean, use Code Unpaid there. Plate Snacks. I think we even had another crew this week tag us on something. He made a gym sticker for a buddy who was like, I think too much on the fence to make his own sticker, so he just kind of did it for him. I believe is how what I gathered from that. So that's awesome to still see people using Code Unpaid at Plate Snacks as well. And then, like we said, Home Gym Con. You guys are running out of time to get tickets for that. I mean, it's like we're 2 weeks out or something like that. So I think I have one. Yeah, I have to work a full week next week, and then I'm off. I'm only working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the week after that. So whatever that is, it's like 10 days from now. We'll be heading out.
And if I can just for a second, again, Barbell Rescue, I fought getting one forever just because
You
of the
did.
shipping and the cost. And then once we had our own code, the shipping was 50% off. Genuinely a really easy to use and good product. Right? Like it is exactly what it says it is. Gets all your dead skin out, gets your chalk out. If you dip a little bit of 3-in-1 on it, it helps you spread the 3-in-1 a little easier. Like, yeah, that's a good product, and I think people really should jump on that one real quick.
Nice. Well, Big Chris, I think we're gonna just do a couple more things before we get into unpaid and underrated. I want us to do an FMK, and then we're gonna do a brief serious goose, if that's all right with you. So FMK, grip training, powerlifting, strongman. FMK, grip, powerlifting, strongman. Three things I know you've dabbled in.
Yeah, that's probably the top three in terms of physical training I enjoy. So it's gonna be a
I
tough one.
know.
If you threw cardio in there, that'd be an
Well,
easy
yeah,
one.
that'd be that's. I'm not gonna say this isn't the fucking layup show. We're not Big Tanner going up there for a noon ball layup and blowing his Kenko out. This is fucking unpaid and underrated, where we ask difficult FMKs.
You know, I took one of those natural stones to my ankle
Oh,
last week, so that one really I
what a
feel
sh
Tanner on that one. It didn't blow out, thank God. Um, grip training, powerlifting, and strongman. Oh man, this is tough.
druthers, buddy. Come on.
Yeah. All right. So
Shot.
strongman training, definitely love my life there. I love everything about it.
So
Although it
man,
does cause a ton of pain in terms of just the implement, you know, Atlas stones, natural stone, block press, you name it. But even with that, I think it's the one I could definitely going to marry strong. Um, Powerlifting, there is just something to love about the simplicity of that. And plus, you get a good chance to use some ammonia salts there, and
You
the
caught that, did
fact
you?
that it
Big
the
Joey
fact
regularly takes shots of liquor and shots of ammonia during our podcast.
It's
And I'm
so fucking stupid. I'm sorry to do that
yeah.
while you're talking, but oh, it's my last ampule, and yeah, keep going, Chris.
gives really good visual effect. Definitely got to watch on YouTube for this. But the so I guess where they've also got powerlifting, just because powerlifting is one of the OGs, just so good. I'm definitely going to F it just because it'll probably what I'm going to do in life. You know, it'll be there when I need it to be and want it to be. But I guess I'm just going to have to kill grip training because I absolutely hate grip training, but I love it at the same time because of the challenges it gives you. And those grippers, like the Captains of Crush and the other ones, man, they really know how to humble you.
Well, especially
Very,
especially when you buy the size that's like four higher than the one you intended to buy.
hey, mistakes happen. If
I do
anything, it's just
appreciate.
a new challenge.
Yeah, we do appreciate the gifts to the no wine cellar, though, buddy. I really do appreciate that. Maybe someday they'll be able to close them.
We'll do what Tanner does. If you can close the previous one, then he'll get the
Yep,
new one.
yep,
That's what
yep,
we'll
yep.
do.
All right. So that was I was figured to be a good FMK for you because I know you were pretty fond of all three of those. So um I just wanted to touch base on it, let you tell your story if you wanted to briefly. For anyone not listening, Big Chris is a childhood cancer survivor. We're grateful that you're here, my friend. Would have been, very happy to have you in my life. So, anything, it's your story to tell or not tell. We can, do whatever you want with it, but I think it might be worth hearing.
Yeah, no, I mean, cancer in some way or another definitely affects, everybody directly or indirectly. No, when I was 16 years old, I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, which a version of leukemia that affects typically the older population. But I was unfortunate enough to be diagnosed with it. So yeah, that was junior year of high school, and that took me out. The treatments took me out for the entire um, of school. So I started treatments, I believe, in November when I was diagnosed, and I went through 3 cycles of chemo, and then a bone marrow transplant. All in all, it took about 8 to 9 months, just hospitals. Um, got to leave the hospital in between the cycles of chemo, so was able to go home, see family. For those who may not know, chemo is poison for the body. It just absolutely destroys everything, the cancer cells, but also your entire being. So I didn't have an immune system at the time. So recover, start the next cycle. So yeah, it was definitely a riveting experience in all the bad ways. It's not only, was I ripped from my life, 16-year-old friends, family, school, all of that was just taken away from me in a heartbeat. And there was obviously a lot of physical pain, going through it, a lot of issues that comes with cancer, but some of the hardest parts, and a lot of people listening to this probably understand too, is, the emotional toll it can have, not only on yourself, but your family, the friends, people taking care of you in the hospital. It was tough. There were times too where, since I was 16 at the time, I was still in the pediatric unit. Um, but I was one of the older kids, actually the oldest at the time. And there were a lot of young, very young children, babies too. So when I was healthy enough and able to move and, interact, I would, play with some of the younger kids because they were going through the same thing I was, just give them some sense of normal. I would try and do that if I could. Game. Probably one of the tough parts was, again, it was a pediatric, literal babies there. Um, there were some babies where their parents just decided not to show up anymore, to either take care of them, visit them for whatever reason. So when I was able, I would just hang out with them, play with them with their toys, because the only other people they had to play with and meet were, the nurses and the doctor. For a kid that young, it's not really going to grow. So yeah, it was a very rough, 8 to 9 months of my life, but I look back on it and I've got to meet, so many great people, so many just friends and family that showed up for me, a lot of the nurses and doctors, some of which I still keep in touch with. It was an experience I hope no one ever has to go through. Unfortunate that people still do. But the recovery process, I'll say, a tough one, but having a great support in terms of friends meant the, even though people will think of it as a solo fight, it's really not. I mean, the motivation you get from others caring about you, it's just a word or a card or something. It really does mean. I had friends that when they were able, they visited me in the hospital. Obviously, I was bedridden for most of it. It truly was a life changing. So it always seems like there was, no light at the end of the tunnel, especially with it seemed like there is hope. It will get better, and thankfully, I survive. Going on almost 10 years in remission, thankfully, which I have actually my checkup tomorrow morning with my doctor, my yearly
Oh shit, dude.
checkup. So the timing actually works out pretty funny. But yeah, I know things have been great. I'm just very blessed to have such a great, my friends, family, the crew, the so we're
Glad you're able to share that. I know we were kind of hesitant if we were going to really talk about it or not, but it was your platform, so I'm glad you were able to share those words with everyone. I don't think anyone here doesn't know someone affected with cancer. Like, I don't think that's possible that you can be even a kid and not know someone with cancer, let alone like a bunch of submasters that we are. So, I think that was, I think we're all glad you're still here, buddy. So with that, we do have this game we like to play. So we're gonna play a little
You
unpaid or
set that up
underrated.
on purpose.
I did. I was like, well, because I was like, it didn't fit into the podcast really at all, and he was just flowing, and I was like, oh, I don't want to like sabotage the middle of the podcast. So if I just play it up as a bit, almost as in like, no, it's not. You know what I mean?
I want to interrupt your bit for a second there.
Yeah. Follow up. Yeah.
We all like to joke about how angry Keith is all the time, right? Because he just gets on here and he rants and he vents sometimes. And I appreciate that about Keith, is that he's so open and forward with us. But when you said that there were kids there whose parents don't even show up, I don't know if you noticed, I've never been so fucking irate in my life. Every muscle in my body tensed up with rage that your child is going through that, and you're like, oh, I got fucking work to do, or whatever else you're doing. I'm probably gonna mute myself for a second. I don't think I have ever been so mad as to when you said that sentence. Uh so thank you for helping those kids out, because I can't believe nobody else did, man. So go ahead, do your unpaid and underrated for a second. But I'm fucking livid right now. Just
Right.
pure
Gotcha.
rage.
All right, Chris. Sorry, let's pull this back from deep and feely to a little comedy here to round it out. I know you got to get to bed. Definitely, I didn't realize you had that appointment. I would have tried to reschedule if I knew you had that big 10-year anniversary coming up tomorrow. You son of a bitch. All right, unpaid or underrated. Do you want to explain for the guest what the rules are and how we play it? Any of the first time listeners, you should have some of your friends listening to this episode. So, what is unpaid and underrated, and how's it different from overrated and underrated?
Yeah, so two very different games. In fact, some might say the other podcast may have stolen this one. Unpaid, overrated, basically a set of topics that are handpicked for the guest, which in that case would be me. And the guest has to choose whether that topic is unpaid, aka slightly overrated, either for the general population, that person, or whatever it may be, or if the topic is underrated. And you can't actually ride the line. You have to pick one or the other, even if it's 51 or 49% one way or the other. You also have your druthers who explain on it. So if explain why you're feeling one way, you can, but ultimately you have to choose paid.
Perfect. Well said. I don't think I've ever said it that well before. And every time I do, I think I stutter and fuck it up.
Let's just
well done.
record that and put that on
I think I might.
every
I think
time.
that's just going to be that's for sure. If I remember, I can. If I had a videographer, I'd have them pull that story clip right there. But all right, unpaid or underrated. Big Chris, number one from me. I gotta go with. Ooh, this has been a little hot topic with some. I think you even asked me this drunkenly at your party. Cheese on a Whopper.
What?
Yeah, I actually did. That was the next day I asked you.
Yes, that's what it was.
So, maybe a little backstory on this. This came from one drunken night with my buddies. We were just arguing why wasn't cheese automatically just on a Whopper? It needed to be, did it not be? Um,
Is it not?
Not in the
No,
US.
yeah,
You have
it's
to
all
ask
you got to
for
add
it.
it, and it's like an extra 89 cents or $1.50 probably, whatever the fuck it is.
I think it's like 50 cents or something more, but
I
you have to
bet,
ask
I bet
specifically.
it's closer
Inflation,
It doesn't
supply
matter.
chain.
with everything going
So,
on.
we were just discussing that, and first of all, this is going to probably cause some strife in the world, but I'm more of a Whopper fan and a Big Mac fan. That's what
It's
also
fair.
kind of sparked the topic. Um,
Mm.
Ultimately, I want to say, cheese on a Whopper, unpaid. No, sorry, underrated.
There you go.
But I am going to go unpaid.
Okay.
I am cheese on a Whopper is definitely unpaid. Simply because I think you get a great experience. Does cheese add to it? More or less. But I think everybody can eat a Whopper without cheese, and not everyone can eat it with cheese. Shout out to my lactose tolerant homie.
Okay, so isn't the cheese like American cheese, which is probably
Yeah.
what they use? That's actually lactose free, isn't it?
It might be. I mean, it's
So,
just a
I don't
piece
know.
of plastic. Yeah.
yeah, so there's
It definitely
lactose
is
and
a cheese.
there's lactose, right, which is in most real cheeses. Then there's lactase, which is in mostly cheddar cheeses and over the counter, like over the not over the counter, the fucking American cheese, like a plastic
Mhm.
cheese.
Yep.
Um, yeah, you're right. Hot take: Big Macs are the superior sandwich, but the superior experience is probably the Whopper. Real onions, real meat, real tomatoes, not diced shit, not frozen. He might be right on that. Now, of
Would you?
course,
Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Good. No, you go ahead.
All I was gonna say is I think the Whopper gives you a more true burger experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I do agree that the Big Mac is a good sandwich, especially the idea of it. Like if I made a homemade Big Mac, I'm sure it would beat a regular burger I could make any day.
Yep. Now, the Burger King chicken sandwich. I will maintain every day. The original chicken sandwich from Burger King is the best fast food sandwich you can get.
It's good. Just like you're talking
It's
like the long oval looking one
Yep.
too.
The
Not
long
not
one?
It's just
yeah. Yeah.
chicken
Just
mayonnaise,
mayo
chicken
and
mayonnaise and
lettuce.
lettuce. Yeah, that's
Yep.
traditional
Yeah.
Italian style. You could add
Yep.
marinara and make it a little better, but like,
I enjoy those.
I'm a big chicken sandwich fan. Like I am still searching for a great place here in Rochester, Keith. There's one in Boston. I just frequent it like every week for a chicken sandwich.
Have you had
But
chicken out at all?
I've had chicken out.
Chicken out's pretty.
You know what I've tried, Keith? Not to go deviate too much, but the Magnet Chicken. Not sponsored by them. They're kind of in the run right now. They're in Fairport. But I don't like, for whatever reason, I don't like the original chicken from Burger King. I don't know why.
hard
Don't know
disagree.
why. Yeah.
I can imagine it's because you taste it all day. You eat one and everything for 24 hours just tastes like that fucking chicken
Yeah,
sandwich.
that's true. Yeah, it
And then they're
probably
two
is.
for $9 or one for six. So what am I gonna do for my money? I'm gonna order two and I'm gonna eat two because I'm a fat guy, and everything's just gonna taste like that chicken sandwich for a 24 hours. I think that would be my biggest issue with it, and that's what I have to consider when I buy it because there's a Burger King right across from my work. So if I leave work knowing I have to go work out and I need sustenance because I haven't eaten all day, well, it's two for $9. Let's just go get a Burger King sandwich. And then every deadlift, every squat, every bench, every water, every creatine, everything for the rest of the day just tastes like that chicken sandwich. So I can
Every
see,
burp too.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. Next,
All right, number two, Chris, specifically for you, unpaid or underrated, shaking hands with fellow powerlifters at a competition.
I wonder what this could
Specifically
be
me.
referring to. Oh, just you or overall?
oh well,
Well,
no, that's
I
not
guess you,
fair because Keith doesn't like talking to anybody or shaking hands with
well, the,
anybody or looking at anybody or having drinks with
Talking.
anybody
I guess shaking hands
or
with anyone then, and then you have to tell the story of what happened, of why I'm asking this, I
All right.
guess.
So the reason you're asking this is this is again the powerlifting meet the trophy handouts and calling the placements. So actually, Keith, congratulations, got second place in the meet. I got third place, but don't be fooled. There were only three people in our weight class. So as we were going up to get our trophies and medals and whatnot, towards the end, I was shaking hands with all the competitors. Shook the hands with the person in first place. And then as I go to shake the hands of my dear friend Keith Honeycutt, I take it back and do the behind the head, shake it away from him.
Nice.
Thank you. And then he proceeds to get upset and immediately nut taps me, to which I punch over in pain. But what we were not aware of at the time is that they were still live streaming the event, including the medal handout. So now on YouTube, there is forever a portion in that live stream that has Keith nut tapping for the rest.
I
I'm
love
act-
that story.
I'm actually kind of mad about that because the idea that Keith would be mad
It
at
wasn't mad at
anybody,
all. It was
how
definitely.
how dare Chris shun me?
It was not mad. It was just a buddy instantaneous reaction. Like I don't know if it was anyone else, it would have just been like, "Ah, you got me." But it was just like, "Oh, you fucker." But it
So
was
the amount of nut taps you just opened yourself up to at the Lift Hard Live
uh,
Easy when you decide to neglect all
oh,
of
because of
your friends. Oh,
oh
here,
shit.
they're coming.
Pour
They're
a cup.
coming.
I'll pour a cup.
Everybody nut tap Keith when he
But no.
shuns you at the Lift Hard Live Easy,
But
including
no.
at the zoo.
I just it was it was just one of your best friends. It was an instantaneous little like I think before he even got his hand by his head, I was already like,
Oh no, I'm
you
fucking with you.
fucker.
It's funny. That
Oh,
was
it
actually
was very
genuinely
funny.
funny, and that should go in our
I
list.
loved it.
That should go in
Yeah,
our list
it's
of
gonna be a
videos
video.
of
It's for
Chris getting
sure.
owned.
There's gonna be
Like
a
the him bumping his
compilation
head,
of
the GHR.
me bumping his head.
Yeah, you
Oh,
tapping
good
Yeah,
him.
stuff.
you nailed it too, Keith. You were on point, dude.
Attaboy. Oh, well,
So yeah, I'm gonna go with
so shaking hands, unpaid or underrated.
I'm just gonna go underrated. I think it's stands the test of time and he can give you some can lead into some nut taps. So I'll go
Nice.
underrated.
That actually reminds me, I forgot to shake the hands of all the fucking judges and shit at the meet after, because it's like
I did too.
historically after your third lift, like I mean, some people don't because their defense is, well, it's a rotation of judges, so who's to say that it's the same judge that was there the rest of the meet? But it's like I don't care. It's just historically, I always like to shake the hands of like, after my last deadlift, but I completely just fucking blacked out and did not. So sorry, guys.
No, I usually just yell
I
"Thank you, judges" and
Yeah,
like bow because like you can't get all of them. There's 6 or 7 of them per
yeah,
meet.
it's true.
yeah, I also I meant to do that. Like when I was going to meet, I was like, yeah, I'll make sure to thank the judges, and I completely forgot, and I felt bad.
Yep. Respect the judges, respect the platform. That's my rules.
I got so many left, and I want to make sure I save Joey with some. Oh, what do I want? Good one. Okay, here's one that's relevant. Unpaid or underrated. Moving back to Boston.
Why is
Bastin.
this up there, Keith? Do I explain the backstory on this?
Yeah, if you want, like under a minute.
Yeah, basically, there's some really good job opportunities for me in Boston. But I had to pick up my life and move everything from Rochester, New York, back to Boston. And I got a really good community here that I don't necessarily want to leave, even if it is for, jobs, or careers. So that's, I guess, I guess I'll take it as, can I take it as just moving anywhere, maybe for a new job?
Yeah. Moving out of Rochester, I guess, or yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that would be anywhere. So
I guess I'm gonna go honestly for the situation I'm in. Obviously, everyone's unique. Just take this as a grain of salt. I'm just gonna go. I'll go unpaid for this one, just given the situation. That being said, you know, futures change. Keith, don't be upset at me.
no, you're good.
But I'll stick with unpaid.
Follow up to that real quick before Joey gets back. Unpaid or underrated? Very short answer. Rochester, New York.
Oh, I'm going with a hard underrated. I think
Really?
Rochester, New York is very underrated. I've been
Okay.
fortunate now to see a lot of the US, from large cities to very small towns that have a population like three, to various cities in California, Austin, Texas, you name it. And there's just something about Rochester that hits a sweet spot. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to go severely underrated for its location, the people here we have in our vicinity.
Nice.
So
Well, that
underrated.
killed just enough time to let segue into Joey's turn. So the floor is yours, Joey.
Okay. Oof. What do we got left? All right. So unpaid or underrated? Having two first names.
I was in seventh grade. It was chemistry class. I'll never forget. This is my first experience of this. It was the first day of class, and we're doing roll call. And the teacher goes to my name, goes, Chris Mark. And before I could even say anything, he goes, huh, never trust a man with two first names. And
What the
then
fuck?
didn't even say if I was here or not. He just moved on. So that was my
That's
first experience to that.
Absent.
slap that teacher in the mouth. Like, what the hell, teacher?
Yeah, and that was an interesting experience. But I get it all the time where people will be like, my name's obviously Chris Mark, but people go, hey Mark. Or what's really weird is some of my friends will call me instead of just Chris, they'll call me Chris Mark because it just
Chris
flows
Mark.
better, I guess.
Chris
Yeah,
Mark,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess two first names. We're gonna go underrated for sure. You can
Yeah.
have fun with them.
And then if you move back to Boston, you get to be Chris Mack.
With my khakis, Chris Mark.
You get to be Chris Mack and find your khakis in your khakis. All right. I might do four just based on how these go. This one's actually personal to me because I was going to bring this up earlier. Unpaid or underrated Dinnie Stone training.
Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna go. Well, first on this one, it was actually this Tuesday. I went to for my lunch break to go work out. My coach was there, and we actually lifted together. Very simple lift. But he was doing some Dinnie Stone. He brought the Dinnie Stone handles. Do these, and I was like, hell yeah, I've never done them before.
Hell yeah.
So we worked up to the working weight. He went up to the full Dinnie Stone weight, right, to lift them up, not carry, just lift them. And I worked up to 300 kilos or 660 pounds. I believe the qualifying weight to actually attempt the Dinnie Stones in Scotland. So as long as you send the video to whatever, you know,
Mhm.
person is doing that or group attempt it. So that was a very big surprise that I could do that. There's video proof of it, Keith. You're welcome.
No, that's yep. That's kind of why it
Um,
was relevant because the your dismount of it and how much bodily harm you kind of caused was where I was going with the adding it to it.
yeah,
Come
no,
on.
that's
This isn't
the
another
second
like
part.
Chris hurts himself video, is it?
A little bit.
Well,
Damn
the
it.
issue is I'm still kind of figuring out my stance. As you probably know, Joey, it's more of like a Jefferson deadlift stance, right? To pick
Yep.
up the Denny Stones and handles. The plates, there were kilo plates, and they were scraping against my shins and my calves and down my ankle as it was coming down. And I was like, this absolutely is terrible. I never want to do this again. Like it hurt to like put my feet down in bed and have the blanket like roll on it. That's how tender they
Damn it.
were. But all in all, because it was still a lot of fun, I think the Denny Stones are absolutely phenomenal, and anyone who attempts them and is able to lift and or walk with them is great. I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go under just because of what it leads. Even if the training is painful, which most.
There's gonna be and it's probably sooner rather than later. Me and Steve are gonna be going to the no wine cellar. Right. And it'll be a thing we book in advance, of course. With the summer coming, it'll be a little easier because I think you're only 3.5 hours away from us, right?
Yeah, it's under 4
So
hours.
I have the Dinny replicas, the handles. So maybe we get Chris. Maybe we just instead of having a day where we like go in and do our programming, maybe we just have a day of creating dumb fucking content.
Do that.
And yeah, we just I'll bring the Dinny handles. I get to throw a log around. Like we'll see what we can do. But we'll make sure you're invited on that one because you're around the corner.
I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm still trying to get Keith to do the video of him guessing the bars.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Oh yeah,
I
he touches the shaft and see what he can
yeah.
figure out. But
I think
one of them needs to be a penis because I don't think you can have a Keith
well
video
when are you coming down, buddy?
like
Wow, I didn't know this bar was so large. What
I
Never
happened?
felt
didn't
a
see that
Canadian dick
coming.
before.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. All right, that's good. Because I was just thinking like a fake one, but no,
No.
that's actually way funnier.
Oh God, that would be so awkward. Be like,
This
I guess
knurling feels so odd. I don't
gotta podcast with
understand.
Yeah.
this guy the rest of my life. Oh God.
Oh, I can't believe I
Um,
like this so much.
I do want
Okay.
to do that. I do want to do that video, but I also like. I kind of want to do it. I think it might be do a new gym tour. I think it's been like 2 years since I've done a full gym tour. I've added a lot of shit to the gym. So
Just make sure it's
hey,
24 minutes.
yeah, to piggyback off theirs, I might might
26 minutes just to.
I think in their defense it was 23 and change because I vividly remember seeing 23. But if you
Yeah.
round up, it probably was 24.
Yeah, it's 23 and 46 or something. I was just like, no, I'm not doing that today. All right. Unpaid and underrated. Unpaid or underrated. The no wine cellar.
Oh, all right. So in a basement, you have all the York dumbbells you could ever need,
Which is 0.
which, yeah, debatable. So many York pound plates that are vintage ones. You have power bars, deadlift bars, uh, bars I'm forgetting, but somehow exist in that basement. Swiss bars. I think what 3 power racks or something, and a bench platform. A ton of orange. Uh, and the fact that I hit my head on every damn thing,
I'm
I'm
looking at the
gonna
thing you
go.
hit your head on last time, right above
You
your
are.
head in this
You
video.
absolutely are. You absolutely are. Yeah, the red piece of pool noodle that he walked right into.
I'm even hitting it on the podcast here. I mean, that just shows you my
Basically, you're pretty
commitment.
close.
Even with all that, I think having that, just in the years of, the memories built down there, the pictures on the wall, the people that I visited, I'm gonna go underrated. But if I hit my head one more damn time, it's gonna be unpaid for sure.
Well, I really should just get you a helmet for coming down here, I guess. That'd be
No,
good too.
I
Hell
might not show
yeah.
up if that happens.
Get you a
Hell
low
yeah.
profile orange helmet.
Just a wrestling helmet where it just has.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
His luck, he'd like hit it in like the spot there's not padding.
All right.
stuff.
Last one for all the marbles. Unpaid or underrated. Keith.
Keith Honeycutt with 2 T's.
Oh
Yep.
God.
The Glaze himself.
The orange
Um,
glaze.
Wow, where do I begin? I mean,
Unpaid
he's a
as
strong
shit.
guy. He's handsome. Sure, does he record everything that I somehow do a clumsy act of? Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame of all things as well. You know, just a good guy to be around. This is a tough one, but I am gonna have to go, even if he has terrible movie rating skills.
Terrible movie rating skills.
I know opinions can't be, right or wrong or factual, but most of them are wrong.
Basketball got a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
actually
all right,
had
Steve. It's okay.
I had people listening last week message me directly and go, I was all on Keith until basketball got a 4. So I think Keith needs. I think for next week.
I'll rewatch basketball.
For next week, you're gonna watch
2024. I
basketball.
don't know about next year. I don't know, I'm out of town. I might have a chance to. I can throw it on. I can watch it quick in the hotel. Maybe. I'll see what I can do. No promises. In 2024, I will rewatch basketball, but it might not be in the next 7 days.
All right. So your rating was underrated.
I'm going to go underrated.
All right.
I think he's still, he's like an iceberg. You only see a little bit at the top, but then when you get to know him, even if some of those opinions are just terrible.
Yeah, I won't disagree. He's a good sport. We rag on him. He puts himself out there, and we rag on him a little bit for it, and he takes it because like he just knows that we do it because we care. So yeah,
Every now and then I boil. Every now and then I boil over, but for the most part, I can take a good ribbing. But
but again, what's important is you only let us know when you boil over. You don't let everybody else, and that's important. It's like you hold that in to the people that need to know, not the rest of us. Me, I'm just like I crumble like a fucking baby when anybody says anything. I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. So like, yeah, agreed.
I'm definitely This was definitely, I didn't realize this was going to be the Keith episode, but I appreciate all the praise, buddy. This was supposed to be your episode, but anything,
Shut up.
you
Okay,
are
moving on. Move.
Yep. Did he,
Moving on.
so I guess I was the reason he was all, he got all the marbles. That's good stuff.
It's enough nice things about Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
son
going to
of a
bring it
bitch.
back down to reality, Keith. So
Yeah.
get ready.
Well, hopefully you have some questions that'll humble me and make me look like an asshole.
So,
So we'll see.
yeah, what do you have anything for us?
I do. So I've got a few things.
Oh,
So one question I'll start off with before getting into it, is if you could experience any piece of entertainment for the first time again, what would it be? Could be a movie, a book, a play, TV show, game, any type of entertainment, no matter if you could experience it again for the first time.
Maybe playing NCAA football, 99. I think it was the first time I played it. And mainly because that game hasn't existed in like 15 years. I'm sure if I thought about it, I'll throw something deeper up on Instagram this week because that is a really, really good question. But it's like there's I overanalyze everything so much that I can't I have to almost just go with what the first thing was, and I would say that playing that game was like one of my most memorable things one of my most favorite things as a child was playing that game, NCAA football, college football on PlayStation. So yeah, I wish I could do that again every day.
Yeah.
I'll go with two things. There is the video game aspect of the first time I played WCW versus NWO Revenge. I have it on N64 now, and that game was just the superior game. It was the best wrestling game ever. Also, probably X-Men 2, the movie. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. X-Men 1 was great because like it introduced
Or was that 3 or 4? There's so many.
yeah,
Was at the dam.
well, there was a dam in part 2 because he was traveling, but
Yeah,
X-Men 2, when the guys broke into the house and Wolverine finally killed somebody on screen.
Oh yeah.
They stabbed that guy against the fridge. The entire crowd, the entire theater cheered and screamed. That was the first time I'd been to a movie where people cared about what was happening. And I was one of them. I also was very excited to see Wolverine be mad and kill somebody. Because in the first movie, he did not get to do that. Nobody got to do that. And then finally, yeah, he stabbed that dude against the fridge and screamed in his face. And because he was protecting children. And that was like incredible. Like it was just like, that's the Wolverine we all wanted to see. Yeah, if I could relive that brief moment, that would be that.
What about you, Chris? I know, do you have an answer for us on that one or your own question?
No, I mean, first of all, those are some good answers, Keith. I'm curious to see how you dive into it later on for that post.
Yeah, remind me about that if I forget, because I will try to think about that when I have some time.
Yeah, Joey, that's a good first experience for sure, seeing that too, especially with people, being able to share that with people.
Yeah. You're just in a theater and he just stands up and he screams and he stabs the dude and everybody goes, yeah. And you're like, me too. Like it was, yeah, that was pretty incredible.
I guess I would say for mine, it's probably going to harken back because I had this question asked a while back too. One of my favorite shows.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. One of my favorite shows is Attack on Titan. I just love the story. You never know where it's going to go, and there's so much deep meaning in it. And I absolutely would just love to experience that again, just for the first time. A magical experience. That's going to be. So I picked some topics for both of you. An Unpaid and Underrated, a game you might be familiar with. So I have topics for both. Maybe I'll just alternate each, and then we'll go through that.
Sure.
Joey, let's start with you.
Mm-hmm.
So yours has a little bit of a theme to it. So the first one is Unpaid or Underrated, bagged milk. Milk in a bag. as opposed to a carton?
I genuinely couldn't care less. Um, so in Ontario, not all of Canada, just Ontario, our milk's in bags. Um, don't love the unreusable plastic aspect of it. But I just recently also discovered that at Walmart, Fairlife is about the same price, and it's in a plastic jug. So I might also just buy that because, again, lactose versus lactase, high protein, might just only do Fairlife for a little while. But like, I, it's probably unpaid. Like I don't really care. It's just what's available to us. You get your $6 for 3 bags of milk, or you can go to the carton, which is $4 for like 1 liter. Like it doesn't make sense financially to do the plastic cartons or the glass jugs. Um, yeah, that would be the best answer. I literally don't care. It's just the thing that's available.
No, that's fair. I didn't know if we don't really have bagged milk here, Keith, unless you know a place
I
here.
I had
I
bad milk in elementary school, but that was like the single servings, but I've never had like bulk bag milk.
I think it's only like even Ontario and one other province. Most of the rest of Canada doesn't do it either because it is, again, just wasteful plastic. You got to wash it, dry it, and hope that your city is set to recycle that type of plastic. So most of the rest of Canada is like, no, that's terrible. We're not going to keep doing that shit. So yeah, Fairlife. I've got a thing of Fairlife now. $5 for the 1 liter. I'll just do that. I'll just keep doing that.
No, solid answer. I just didn't know if it was economical or something else, but it sounds like it's not. So,
It really isn't. Yeah.
all right, Keith, we're gonna go for one for you. Um, so Keith, unpaid or underrated? Changing your pillow every 2 years or sooner,
Hello. Hello.
as per the AAFA's recommendation.
That
Unpaid
is
or
like
underrated?
it's extremely unpaid. Once you find a pillow, you marry that pillow and you stay with that pillow for 30 plus years. I actually did recently just get some Costco pillows that I can kind of sleep. Like every now and then I'll notice that I actually slept the whole night with it. Cause like my pillow that I have, it's my, whatever the fuck Jen wants me to say it, hollow, whatever.
Hello. It's because you keep saying
uh,
gin, pillow.
um, like because I'll basically start off the night like when I'm just like playing on my phone or watching TV or something with like not my quote unquote good pillow, just because I don't want to like flatten it out before it's actually time to sleep and get it all warm and shit. So but like now I've found some decent enough ones that like I'll basically wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, I never actually got my good pillow. So but in general, yeah, no, it's under that is unpaid. Get your pillow you like, and then worst case, they have those like antibacterial like dust mite like pillowcase things I could put over it. I've thought about it. Fuck that, I don't care. If I haven't, it hasn't killed me yet. But yeah, no, I fully understand it's disgusting that I have a 30-year-old pillow,
Fucking
but
disgusting.
I don't care because I have severe neck pain and chronic neck pain, and that pillow is the only one that's kept me from like not having pain
No,
for the past several years.
you have a security pillow.
Hmm.
Like you just haven't explored other options. You have a security pillow. This is mine. It's
I've bought a
comfortable.
lot of other different. I bought like every different like cervical fucking like. I've spent hundreds of dollars on pillows in the last decade, probably. Just trying to experiment with ones, and a lot of them just end up being like feet pillows.
So Keith, do you struggle with like a lot of neck pain and everything?
Oh,
Wait,
severe, yeah.
do you think it could be because you're using a 20-year-old pillow?
No, no,
No, that
my
can't be the
pillow,
answer.
All right,
it
just making
cradles
sure.
my head and neck perfectly.
Except for all the
The only thing.
times I have pain.
No, my pain is like lifting and job related, I believe, more than anything.
All right. Fair answer. You got your druthers on it.
Oh, I actually I can't believe you put that forward, Chris. That was fantastic. Yeah.
Well done.
One, so Joey,
Yep.
so unpaid or underrated? Here's your answer on this. Niagara Falls.
You know, God, underrated. Absolutely underrated. And it's one of those things that we talk about in my job specifically, right? Because when you get comfortable in your job, You get comfortable in your life. You get comfortable with your family. You get comfortable. You forget how important the things around you are, right? And this is a very good example. I live near one of the greatest wonders of the world. It's 45 minutes from me, and it's Niagara Falls. It's the biggest waterfall, biggest natural flowing waterfall in the world. So the Great Lakes, actually, the Great Lakes are actually inland seas and are also wonders of the world. There's no lakes that have waves, right? Like our lakes have waves,
Yeah.
the Great Lakes. Other lakes don't. It's not how they work. These are inland seas with entire ecosystems on the inside, and they all congregate around Niagara Falls. So it's fucking wild that you could live this far and have never seen them. There's literally people I talk to every day that live in my city or in cities between us and Niagara Falls that have never actually gone and looked at the falls. It is. But again, it just comes down to the fact that sometimes you just don't know how great what you have is because you've always had it. It's always been there. It's just you take it for granted. The falls are just the falls. Of course I live near the falls. I've never seen them, but who fucking cares? They're always going to be there. Well, one day they won't. And that's how you get to it's a very good metaphor for how like you should recognize the things in your life are. So I would say absolutely underrated. And I keep telling my wife all the time, we should just go look at the falls. Like we should genuinely just drive there and stare at them. And she's like, why? It's a long drive. The kids are gonna fuss. And I was like, because it's a big waterfall. It's loud and it's cool. That's just my thing for the Niagara Falls. And it is better from the Canadian side. Don't care what anybody says. The American side has a really cool bridge that goes over, but it goes over on the shitty side. So like you have a cooler bridge, but you don't have the cooler side of the falls.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of the falls, yeah, for sure. The Canadian,
Yeah.
some of the attractions on the American side are fine, like the bridges, but the falls in the sense of just the side.
Yeah.
But no, I
So,
agree, Joey. That's a great answer. I fully agree with what you just said.
oh
All
yeah,
right.
you asked about the falls, and I went off on like life shit. Sorry. It's
No,
towards the
I
end of
mean,
the podcast. I always do this towards the end of the podcast. So, next question, I
no,
guess.
it harkened back perfect actually to a discussion Keith had whether Rochester was all right, Keith, back to you.
Yeah.
Unpaid or underrated. Take Me Home, Country Roads by John Denver.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. It's like a big Mountaineer song. Like they play it at our. I guess I gotta go. So like the town I grew up in is a big college town. I never went to that college. My wife did. She's an alumni there. Like a lot of my family did. Like they literally grew up in my backyard. So like I still consider it my college essentially. It was like one of the only big Division I sports teams in the entire state. At least like there was another one at the bottom of the state, but they were never really that good. So it was like West Virginia University was like the entire state college and sport team. We didn't have a professional team, so like everyone rooted for West Virginia University if you lived in the state of West Virginia for the most part. So at the end of every victory game, they like the whole team and the whole fucking stadium sings that song. Is for that aspect alone, I'll go ahead and say that it's underrated and leave it at that. But the song in general, just listening to it, like, it is what it is. Like, I don't really, that John Denver is full of shit, right? But, it was, the nostalgia aspect of, fucking 60,000 people singing the same song with like the players fucking like swinging arm in arm back together is pretty, hard to get over. So, underrated.
At one of the last work meetings where we all had to go and stay in a hotel, we all climbed out of the car, and as we're walking, one of the other guys goes, "This fucking guy's from Virginia," and started singing that song in the underground parking lot. So there's me and him walking, and he starts. So I start joining him. And then we realize some of the other managers that are there are on the other side of the underground parking. Well, they start joining in and belting into the song as well. And we all congregate screaming that song because of some dummy's parking. Like this poor guy didn't know, but like he's just because of his license plate. So
Was he from Virginia or West Virginia? Because two different states and only West Virginia
it
is
might.
a main.
I didn't actually see. I just
Okay,
heard
okay,
at the
okay.
end the guy went, "Yeah, that all started because of some guys
Gotcha.
parking
I would hope
or
it was West
license
Virginia.
plate." So that was pretty funny. Yeah, that song can interestingly, interestingly bring people together, despite being
Yeah,
a very middle of the road song.
a middle of the country road, one might say.
So, Joey, would you give it unpaid or underrated? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, unpaid for sure. That song genuinely sucks. Like it's not a good song. It's like, yeah, John Denver, Bon Jovi. There's a bunch of bands that I will make enemies if you ask me too many questions about. They're just all middle of the road trash. That is, they don't take any risks. They don't. It's pop. It's pop, but it's hidden behind nostalgic or hard rock. Foo Fighters is another one of them. I'm gonna make some enemies on that one too. Just it's all pop.
All right. Fair play. So the next one on the list, Joey, getting it back to you. Cuba Cuba cigars, unpaid or underrated?
Never heard of them.
Really?
Stand by. How do you spell it?
Kuba.
Cuba Cuba.
Cuba Cuba. Yep. They're I think they're actually I want to say it.
So it's a Drew estate. It looks like. Um.
Yes,
So
correct.
yeah,
And
I
one of their
do.
popular ones is the acid Cuba Cuba.
Yeah. I've had my fair share of Drew estate, but I don't think Cuba Cuba is actually available in Canada. So I can't say that I've had it.
And I don't know what equivalent enough to get it. Okay. Um,
It's flavored, which is
yes,
an
they do have some
interesting
flavor.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
is banned in Canada. So you actually, unless you're purchasing them from places that I wouldn't say shirk the rules, but there are areas that do. You can't have flavored cigars in Canada. So,
Have you
fun fact: when I see you at Lift Hard Live Easy, it sounds like you have a gift for me.
I think a gift that yeah, we can partake in our each individual way. We're not going to tell anyone though, so
It's
don't let it out of this podcast. It's going to be put to the public. Well, in that case, let me give you one more, Joey. All right, unpaid or underrated? Curious here, since he's from your neck of the woods. Mitchell Hooper, unpaid, underrated, the strongman.
Hmm. I think 6 months ago, I would call him underrated because I think a lot of people were betting against him. And I did not once. I think on this podcast, I was like, nope, this dude's taken over strength sports. Like he's figured this out. Um, I'll still say underrated. I think he's got another year ahead of him, another maybe one more. But he's definitely taking over strength sports. He knows what he's doing. He's not even doing it the strongest. He's doing it the smartest, right? He did not place first in anything at the Arnold,
Two
but he
years ago
won.
he didn't. This year he won like
No,
a 3-8. Yeah, he won multiple events this year. I'd put
no,
money
he
on it.
didn't. He placed second or third in all of them, but placed first in overall.
Someone
I,
can fact check that, but I'd put a dollar bill on it that he won at least two or three events. But you're right. The first year, his 2 years ago, he came in second or third across the board. This past year, like a month ago, I am 100% positive he won multiple events.
no, he didn't, and he still placed first. And having met the
Um,
guy, having chatted with him on Instagram, he definitely is like he's gonna do amazing for a little bit, but it's not. He can't do it long term. Like nobody can do that well that long in that realm.
It helps him that he's not huge though. Like if he was 400 pounds, like no one can. It's harder to maintain
Yeah.
400 pounds. But the fact that he's like 310 or something, like he's not morbidly obese like fucking a lot of those other guys were, and like having to force feed like billions of calories, and like
Yeah.
you can tell like he's still bigger than he should be as a human, but he's on like a
He a
fucking
big dude.
he has like an athletic build still, without being like gargantuan.
They call him Moose, and it's like, well, it's because he's a big guy. It's no, because he's fucking shaped like a moose head, like he's triangular, like his shoulders to his legs are just giant. So yeah, huge fan. Got to meet his team at the Arnold. Didn't get to meet him at the Arnold, but I met him before that. Yeah, definitely a big fan of Mitchell Hooper. I have a ton of his shirts, and we'll probably meet him again soon. Next time he's down here in this area.
Nice. Good. Good answer. And I kind of agree with that too. Yeah, we'll get the fact check results on the Arnold. But all right, Keith, one for you.
Hey, buddy.
This is probably one that hits home for you. Unpaid or underrated. Dick joke.
Dick jokes. Dick jokes are amazing. Dick jokes are never not funny. Anything sexually, like, well, obviously, yeah, well, you got to be in the right crowd too. Like, yeah, but in general, dick jokes go over well. So I'm gonna go very underrated. I seldom don't laugh at dick humor.
Yeah, I can agree with that. All right, we've done I think we've done I got one last one for each. So Joey, this one could be 5 seconds or 60 seconds. I'm just
Okay.
curious to hear it from you. Unpaid or underrated, Cheese Whiz.
Oh, can't say I've had it in years. I'm so yeah, the unpaid. It has a bit weird bitter taste to it. Um, yeah, definitely not a huge fan.
What is the public perception of Cheese Whiz though? Like, I don't know anyone that does anything with, like, I only think of Cheese Whiz from like 80s movies where like fucking Paul, or early 90s where Pauly Shore is fucking like doing Cheese Whiz and Encino Man. Like, I don't know. I've never seen.
No, he was whizzing the juice.
Oh yeah, there was something where he fucking did. I do remember that with like the slushies at the fucking 7-Eleven
He's
or something.
whizzing the juice,
Yeah,
which reminds me every time how mad you get about the Riz and stuff like that. Remember that we had
yeah.
whizzing the juice. Oh, by the way, so because it bothered me that I was not sure, I have the results here. Um, it would seem that in the bag over bag, Half Thor took first. In the power medley, Lucas Hatton took first, and Mitchell Hooper took first place in farmer's carry. And
This is the Arnold
yeah,
2024 in Ohio.
yeah,
Okay.
and in the Austrian oak, Mitch Hooper took first in the. Is this the UK one though? In the
I think that might be
Austrian
Yeah,
the
oak.
UK one. Yeah.
that one of those guys' names I don't think was at the Arnold Columbus.
The Ohio one, I have the events here if you want. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
one
yeah.
was the
Prove me wrong.
Deadlift for Max. Half Thor did 456 with 1,000. He got first.
I watched that. Yep.
Timber carry, which Mateusz held the record. Mitch Hooper got first with 7 seconds. And then the Denny Stone carry, Mitch knocked it out of the park. He did like
He
I
fucking
think it was,
did.
41 feet. Yeah, which is insane for a Denny Stone replica carry. So he got first there, and then Apollin's wheel, he got first as well. Mitch Hoover got second, or sorry, Mitch Hoover got first. Mateusz got second, and then he won the Stone medley as well. No, sorry, he got second in the Stone medley. Mateusz got
Yeah, Mateos won that, and then
so he
yeah, because
won 2 events total.
was it only two? Okay, I was.
No, and
Because
that's
remember at the
again
end for the
that's what
Stone,
Mitch does. Like he doesn't place first in everything, but he places high in all of them.
I mean, the way to win it is to you don't necessarily have to get first in any.
Just don't
Exactly.
zero
Think
out.
Tom Stoltman
Like,
won Worlds 2 years
like
ago, not placing first, just getting top 2 or 3.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, Thor zeroing out on the last one is what took him from second to fourth because he fucking couldn't lift a 300-pound stone over his. And that's what was like. I know that like strongman is so much overhead pressing, but to go from the axle right into a press medley, I was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" As Joey might say.
She
Like,
looked at that.
because then it's like, God damn, like he could like and it seemed like the first press, like the stone was almost too heavy. Like fucking like 3 people I think pressed that out of like the 10. Maybe only 2 out of the 10 did it. So all right, you got one more for us? We can bring this bitch in for a landing.
I got one more. So we got to do another one, Joey. We'll finish it off with you, Keith. This is going to be a local one. Well, not too local, maybe East Coast. Unpaid or underrated? Wegmans, the grocery store.
For me, I love Wegmans. Wegmans is awesome. Wegmans is a very, very popular, very, very nice, very expensive, but still value oriented. Like you can buy Wegmans brand shit, but like, they have everything. The very good, like pre-pandemic, like buffets out the ass. I don't think the buffets ever really came back from pre-made food. You could like go there and eat. You could literally just go there and eat dinner, like pay by the pound. It was freaking outrageously expensive, but you could like cherry pick a couple things you'd like. I think everything now is prepackaged, but in general, out of my other options is the other options are far inferior. I'll put it that way. Like if there was a better competition, Wegmans might not be so much put on a pedestal, but like the other grocery stores suck. Like I'm not going to Walmart for fucking groceries because I don't have a Walmart I feel safe in. I don't have like Tops is okay, but Tops is way expensive.
Do you not have Kroger?
Not it. I have Kroger when I was from in West Virginia. There's no Kroger up here. We don't like so many groceries. That's what's weird too. Like I always talk about how like weird it is that food is regional, like that grocery stores are regional too. Like
I fucking love Kroger. Every time I go to the States, I look for Kroger.
yeah, there's no. I don't definitely know Kroger this far north that I know of. At
No.
least not like northeast. So Wegmans 100% underrated, but they are so highly rated though. But even being like the most highly rated grocery store in the East Coast, I think can't give them unpaid. Like they haven't disappointed me. Every now and then I go to like one of the old original Wegmans that's like not been updated and like their staff doesn't give a shit and it's like a lesser experience. But I try to avoid the 2 or 3 stores like that, and just go to the nicer ones. But yeah, even the shitty ones, yeah, all overall underrated. It definitely the best grocery store in that I've ever been to consistently.
It might not be a comparison, but I'll throw a wrench in. How do you compare it to Costco? It's not a direct one.
Apples and oranges. I don't even know if I can. I mean, Costco's just a knick-knack store that sells chicken bake, so I don't really know why I'm even bringing that up.
Only because the chicken bakes are so near and dear to our hearts.
The lady and I went to Costco this weekend or this week, I think Monday. I basically texted her. I was like, tonight's the only night. This is like one of the only nights I don't have something going on. Like, if you want to go to Costco, I got out of work early enough, or I don't remember what the situation was. Or no, I think she was home sick because she twisted her wrist really bad, but she was kind of feeling up to go out. So nonetheless, we went and got some groceries and shit from Costco, and I got like 2 chicken bakes for some meal prep that week. And I actually I ate a warm chicken bake that night and I had a cold chicken bake the next morning for breakfast. And the cold one was superior, hands down.
Ooh.
Cold chicken bake for me. I don't know.
You love cold chicken. We know that. We get it.
Well, not even the chicken, like the cold, like bread, like it just was better. Like, I don't know. It was less. I don't know how to get vulgar, but like when you're eating a chicken bake, it's almost like glazing in your mouth because it's just like hot molten like jizzy kind of fucking stuff. I don't want to eat. But
exactly how I would
cold
describe it.
the cold one is less jizzy in your mouth.
Exactly how I would describe that if I wanted to send that to all of our friends in Rochester, New York, to make fun of you.
Well, that wraps up the game, and I crunched the numbers, put a little pencil to paper here, guys, and congratulations, you won.
Fucking A, right? We did.
Hell yeah!
This was a. I think the listeners won. This is definitely the top 48 episode, my friend. We can bring it in for a landing here.
Sorry, episode 31. It's episode 31.
1374. I don't know. Do you want to hit him with the outro? I think I've been stealing it lately, but I'll jump in wherever.
You're so good at outros. You're so good at leaving without acknowledging us. Yeah.
I'm so tired at this point that I'm just like I just start saying shit just to like wrap it up. But yeah.
Oh, I'm still just
Great,
excited.
sweetie.
I'm still just
I mean,
excited that.
you're drunk and ammoniaed up, and I'm fucking over.
Oh yeah, that ammonia was great. I'm glad you called me on that because I was listening, but then I was like, I wonder if I could just, and oh, it hit me so fucking hard. And it just like there was tears dripping down my face after that. So thank you, Chris, for calling me on that. Now that is normally something that Big Matt would call me on.
Who?
Mostly squat videos, Matt. Like here we are on episode 31. He's still not here. We invite him on everyone. And it's one of those things that like, man, just like whenever you're ready, just log in. Because if there's anybody like him and Nate have open invitations to just join any episode, and this fucking guy won't. He just won't join us. So we'll get to him eventually, I guess. But at this point, it's starting to feel malicious. Like he just doesn't want to be a part of our episodes. So you can find me at mostly squat videos. I run this really cool meme page where what I do is I take what's that TV show that everybody really likes? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So I take an Always Sunny in Philadelphia clip and then I put a caption about lifting and then I put that TV show to it. It's fucking genius. Like it's really funny. I'm so good at it. So you can follow me there. Where can we find you, Keith?
I am Keith Hennick at 73. Go follow my Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar. Chris, where you at, buddy?
Follow me at Chris.listings on Instagram and also at the Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar. I'll probably be on there as well.
I love it. More importantly, Instagram. Go follow Unpaid and Underrated Podcast. We have a website, unpaidinternpodcast.com, that Nate puts a lot of effort in to make those show notes look all pretty. And we got some blogs out there people need to go look at. YouTube, obviously, we've got that going now. There's no live video yet, but there's a thumbnail that'll stay up there. You can go on and comment for us. I think that rounds that out. Yes. We'll see you next Tuesday.